Well, hello. Welcome. Mars is tardy. I'll have to dock her pay. All right. Hello, Pastry Puff. Good evening. This lovely, lovely Tuesday. Hello, Mason. Yes, this lovely Tuesday before we have Monday off. I hope most of you do, if not all of you. I'm very ready to be off on Monday. I haven't had a sanctioned holiday for a while. But we have some fun things to do. We get to work on Hoatzin's character sheet today. His new reference sheet. Very fun. 2 days left. Dang, Pastry Puff. Nice. Ooh, that means you'll have all of Ace Attorney Day off. Look at that. I'm very excited. I just bought myself this little like cabinet thing that has a fold-out table. I call it a Murphy table, but it folds down and then up, so it's like a little craft thing. Still 3 weeks, Mason? Yeah, that's standard over here. We didn't get out till like June for grade school. College gets out earlier, but college gets out like first week of May. But grade school, yeah, it's like end of June. Yeah, every state is different. And I don't find it necessarily has to do with their climate. Sometimes it's just weird. But I had such a good day today. I did have to drive kind of far for work, but there ended up being this bakery right next to where I had to work. And so I got to go to the bakery and get those baked goods that you saw. Those little mousse cakes. They were so good. The red one was like chantilly cream with jacaron biscuit cake and raspberry jam. And the other one was chocolate mousse cake with, I don't know what flavor of macaron was on top, but it was so good. I would go back and just get their macarons because it was delicious. Very, very fun. And I got a geocache, and it looked like Baby Yoda. So that was fun too. Pretty good day. Got home a little late compared to what I'd like. But overall good. Goodness, I don't know where Mars is. That's so sad. Well, I guess we'll start without her. So sad. But I hope all of yours days were as good as mine. So, I think she's fine. She's been sending me Instagram posts, but just not sure. Oh, she's hopping on now. I see her green online circle. She should be hopping in any moment. Any second now. Tastes different than they expected, but you like them. Nice. I usually get them without the boba solely because I don't like the texture. So you got real like tapioca ones, Pastry Puff? Or did you get like, because I know there's like brown sugar ones. I know there's like a bunch of stuff. But yeah, I don't like, personally, I don't like the popping texture. I vibe with that, Mason. And sometimes the goodnight is I want to scroll on my phone without any obligation to talk with anybody after that, but I don't want to have to change all my things. Ooh, we also have a fun thing. I don't know if any of you guys, if I've ever mentioned this, I think I have, but our friend Cinderblock Sally is part of a D&D actual play podcast called Unbalanced Encounters, and their main campaign is called Rally, and they're in the thick of it right now, and they just finished their arc. And for this arc, they actually asked a bunch of us in the community, a bunch of people who listen. Honestly, I haven't listened in a while. Hello, Mars!
I am here, I am here, I am here!
Tisk
Ah,
tisk.
I'm sorry.
I'm
I
gonna
was
have
in
to
the
dock your
call.
pay.
I'm gonna DM you the deets, Ori.
Oh yeah.
I apologize for my
I got that
tardiness.
tea, but
Ooh. I
you
also got that tea. My mom brought it for me.
very nice. And I had
Yes.
those lovely, lovely, delicious cafe sweets. But what I was just
Ooh.
saying is that so Unbalanced Encounters Valley just came out with their most recent episode today, and at the end of it, there is a dirge, which is a funeral song written by, I think it was one of the cast members wrote it, and then it was composed. And we were actually asked if anybody wanted to record themselves singing the sort of call and response. And so now that it's out, are you guys interested in hearing what it sounds like? Because Ori was saying part of it.
Very good.
It's technically a spoiler, but if I'm being completely honest, I don't think it actually gives anything away. Hello, Ori. Hello, Reinhardt. How are you?
Hello. Welcome, welcome, one and all.
But yes, I'm very proud of it, if I'm being honest. Where's my thing? That sounds like a lot of work to be on at the same time. All right. You know what? I don't care what you guys think. We're gonna listen to it. It's spoilers technically, but if you're not gonna listen to Rally, it's a lot. Like there's a lot of content before this, so
there's a lot of episodes.
Yeah, there's a lot of episodes.
I am behind. I need to play.
I'm also behind, but now, yeah. So Ori sings as part of this, and I think it's very cool. So this is what they came together.
An amazing job.
It just trails off for a little bit, but that's it. It was very cool, very nice, very fun.
God, it still sounds so ethereal, so angelic. I can't get over it. I would put that on a playlist. Not gonna
It's so
lie.
cool. It's short, but it's so cool.
Short and sweet.
All right, but what we are all here for today. Last week we did Melano, and I finished Melano. So this is 2021 Ori's Melano, the very first Melano reference sheet from 3 years ago. That's kind of wild. And we do have a question from Mason. I did see your writing question, Mason. We'll get to that. I just want to start the drawing thing first, and then we'll establish it. So don't feel like we're ignoring you. I want to get to it.
We'll transfer into our topic, and then we'll address
Exactly.
We gotta get the night started. We had a bit of a hold up.
Indeed. And then we have 2022 Melano, and this Melano is actually a paper doll. However, his clothes come off all in one chunk, so it's like all the outfit or no outfit. It does help for, you know, putting on a new outfit if needed, but his hair is also part of the base, which is not good if I'm being honest, because his hair goes on top of the outfit. So, kind of annoying.
What if you want to change out the hairstyle?
Yeah, exactly. What if
It's
he needs a different hairstyle? It's certainly inconvenient.
This had to be streamlined.
Then,
let's see how.
Last but certainly not least, we have the Melano that we did on stream that I finished. Oh, there it is. There it is. Lovely. There he is. Look at that
pose.
Look at him. We have the main front and the full body front and back with the little color palette that, yes, I kept that scales idea because it's fun to have the color palettes in a shape, in my opinion. I like that. But
I think it adds personality to the reference sheet.
This Melano comes fully equipped with not only separate hair. Ooh, the hair can come off. And that white outline can be removed, but for the prettiness of it, we keep it on.
It's needed.
His hair can be removed. Oh, bald Melano. His vest only can be removed. Ooh, look at that. Crazy stuff.
That's a surprise tool that can help us later.
Yeah. You know what's even better? The shirt can come off. Ooh, look at that. No shirt. No, you can see all of his scales and everything. You can see how he has scars that, you know, are important to know. His pants do come off as well.
He's a Ken doll, guys. Don't get too excited.
No, he's a Ken doll. His pants come off as well. And then the scars are on a separate layer, just in case the AU doesn't have it. The tail is on a separate layer. Bald Melano can't hurt you. Yeah, really. The scales and claws are on a separate layer. So he can have... and then he has human feet separately. So he can be collar Melano, or he can be human Melano. And yes, his pants don't work with human Melano,
well for the AUs,
but that's okay.
In many AUs, he is human Melano.
Yeah, the clothes don't work. The collar clothes don't work with human Milano, but that they're not meant to, so it's okay.
So many layers indeed, pastry puff.
It's a lot of layers, and that's why the pants and everything don't work without the tail, because otherwise I'd need layers underneath the tail, and I wanted them to be easily removed, you know. But I don't plan to put his outfit
so much. She doesn't want to drive herself crazy.
Indeed. I didn't want to make it even more difficult.
Melano is finished. Who are we gonna do next?
Well, today, after we save and exit, we have Hoatzin. So yes, this is Hoatzin's original character sheet from 2021. He has some differences.
It's still very good.
Oh, it's still very good. I really like this one a lot.
Oh,
this one is really nice.
This
one is also good, but this one is really nice. And but his hair kind of changed a little bit. The way I draw his pants kind of changed a little bit. Because then we have 2022 Hoatzin. This definitely is much closer, if not exactly like the Hoatzin we have today. And now we are moving into 2024 Hoatzin.
2024 Hoatzin.
So, because yes, Ori already drew.
Oh, I love the poses.
The faces again.
Those are top tier.
Right. So good. He's great. And the same thing's gonna happen again. We're gonna have layers of Hoatzin's clothes and everything. I have his bag that will be in, he probably won't be wearing it in the back one, just so we can see everything, but it's not like he has a lot going on that would be covered by the bag. But I felt the bag was necessary to be in one. You can see here already, Hoatzin has a lot more props, just because he uses a lot more props. He has his feather pen, he has his quill, he has his journal, and he has his bag. Versus Melano doesn't really carry a lot of things, if anything.
Well,
But
I do remember if people want to take a deep dive in the wiki.
Oh yes.
We did once showcase what
Oh,
Melano
I
carries
do.
in his pockets. We did that back when
Is
Outcast
that-
debuted.
Hold on.
And that should still be consistent with the current pocket.
Oh, it is,
the
and I
pockets of
still
2024.
enjoy the design of that. I actually have that, so let's go see that.
Let's pop
What
over
we're
to that
talking
real
about.
quick.
It's in promotional. I think it's in pre-launch posts. Yes, it is. There's also a Hoatzin one, which is fun too. I don't want a GIF. I want a movie. I think that's what I want. As it loads. Yeah.
Do.
And those layers were cut down, Pastry Puff, because
There could have been more.
there could have been more. So this has to be clicked. There we go. So this was for the launch, to prepare for the launch of Outcast. I did this little animation for Melano's inventory thing.
Pockets.
Yep.
Inventory. I think you saw something that inspired you to do an inventory.
Yeah.
And Ori came to me and was like, Mars, make an inventory description sheet. I was like,
So it
okay.
was fun. Yeah, it was just fun. And it had a little text, and it goes back in his pocket. Yeah, I don't remember what I saw. But then there's also a Hoatzin one.
Yes. And Hoatzin carries way more things.
He does.
I guess we could have given Melano the map, but he's not really the map
Oh,
guy.
No, he's
Maybe
not
we
the
could have
map
put
guy.
map fragments in his
So
pocket.
this is Hoatzin.
Shreds of maps. Ah, look at that full bag.
Yep, his inventory much fuller. Yeah, I don't remember what I saw, but it was just fun. And I was still a big like item person at that time. I'm very happy with how the bag opens though.
It's
The-
very
the
satisfying
opening.
to watch, I gotta say.
Yeah.
And I
enjoy
love
that a
like
lot.
the character item select.
Yeah,
Right?
that's you
That is
gotta
amazing.
select through it. Boop, boop.
Do.
And then we get it open. I think it was something Pokemon related.
It had to be.
But yeah, so that's where we're at today. I have to draw. The goal again is to nail down the 3 Hoatzins in the corners again. And figure that
Gotta
out.
pick some prime expressions for him. Fear has to be one. That's like his default.
Scared, yeah, scared definitely. There's a game in development called Habriomania.
Habriomania? I almost read that as Hasbro.
Reminds you a bit of that. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I know. I was trying. I'm like, this doesn't say. Or no, I was thinking Harborough Gold Bears. Right? I was like, no, this is not that. But I'm trying really hard not to say that. A DVD menu? Yeah,
Look like a
amazing.
DVD menu.
Yeah, 100%. I can see that. But now that we're here and sort of entered, Mason asks, how far do you guys usually plan ahead when you're writing Outcast? So I think that's a Mars question mostly.
Sure, absolutely. So, Mason, and everybody, of course, I've talked a couple times on here about knowing your main story beats helps. Because if you can figure out the major events and the major changes that are going to happen, it can help you figure out that connective tissue. One of the webcomics I really enjoy, it's called City of Blank.
I love
the
that. I love
author
that I
has
introduced you to this one. I'm sorry. It's so good.
Yes, Ori definitely got me into it. But I gotta say, it's one of my favorites. It's a really
So
well-paced story,
So
very
good.
very good. And this creator does kind of the same thing. They have these specific story beats they want to hit, but then in some Q&As they admit like, I'm not sure how we were going to get there. I just kind of found my way along the way. It really helps knowing your characters, being familiar with their personalities, because that can guide the story. When you know how a character is going to react, going to respond, that helps you fill in that connective tissue that will get you from point A to point B. With that being said, that was a little bit of a tangent. But when it comes to Outcast, because those main story beats are planned out, I would say we at least have the story beats for 3 seasons planned. Because we have ideas for each character. We know what reveals we want, we know what character elements we want to be brought to light by a certain time, and the pacing at which we're going at, that will happen in season 3. Now, did we know we were planning 3 seasons ahead? No. I think in
Very
the planning
originally, we
phase,
were struggling. We had no
we
idea.
were originally like, oh man, how are we gonna fill 12 episodes? We're gonna need some filler. And then we actually started doing it and we're like, oh, yeah, that won't be a problem. Filler won't be a problem. It's freaking ending the thing that's gonna be the problem. But in a good way. So yeah, did we go in knowing it was gonna be 3 seasons long? No, of course not. We just had an idea. Okay, Hoatzin's gonna do this. Then he's gonna do that. Then this'll happen, and then the audience will know this. How long is that going to take to happen? And then we realize, oh, that's 3 seasons out if we keep going at the pace. Oh, okay, I guess we're 3 seasons ahead. So it really did happen organically. There was planning involved in terms of the plot, in terms of the story, but planning for how many seasons, that came a little bit more naturally, where it was just like, let's see the timeline. Oh, this is where we'll end up. Okay, well, that's nice.
But if, Mason, you're talking about, like, how much we have, like, scripted before drawing, it's at least an entire entry ahead, usually more.
An entry or 2 ahead sometimes.
Yeah, I think right now we're just about... I'm starting on an entry.
Once upon a time, I was 6 entries ahead of Ori.
Yeah, but that was at the very beginning, and you had, like, you weren't coloring yet, nice. And, like, a whole thing. Yeah, Mars was very far ahead at one point, but she wasn't coloring yet, and she didn't really have... I don't think you were even in school yet at that point.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, so Mars had a lot of time.
My retail stuff, so I had time. I needed a release from the day, because if anyone's ever worked retail, you know.
But so
you need that escape.
But yeah. So basically, I just finished the last entry, the last page of entry 5, which comes out 2 weeks from yesterday. If you haven't seen the most recent Outcast, it came out yesterday, and that's 1 page away from hiatus.
Really good entry. It's all the group shots.
It is. It's all the group shots. It's our entry from hell.
Means something. Please go read it. Ori sobbed. I cried. Then Ori sobbed again. Then I cried.
Yeah, it was a lot. And but so we have entry 6 is completely set. And then we have the next entry after that is technically an insert. It wasn't going to be the next one. Mars has more of the one after that written. This is more just a timeline thing than, like, trying to slot something in between.
It was one of those things where we want to put in something extra. I'll give a tiny spoiler that's not really a spoiler. You guys are gonna meet real Everett, not Dream Everett. The man
Which is sooner than we originally thought.
It was a lot sooner than we originally thought, because originally we weren't going to have him appear until nearly the end of
basically
the season,
last,
right on the tail end of the season. But then we decided this introduction was more organic. It set him up better. It sets him up as a threat better.
So it was basically,
I don't think it's any secret he's the antagonist.
Yeah, basically we had this idea of, we knew who Everett was as a character. He was the last character to be made of the main, like, what I would call the main characters, right? And thus he's also the last to be introduced, but just because of sort of how everything works out and where he exists versus where the story has taken place so far. But we have had this, like, scene in mind basically the whole time that we have talked about Port. But how we've gotten to that scene was very vague at one point in time. Then we had, like, a basic idea of how we got there, but it was still kind of not fully fleshed out. Now we really have... Then we had, like, a pretty good idea of how we got there. And then we had this sort of conversation about how, we knew what this Avrit scene was going to be, and in order to make it the impact that we wanted, we needed more Avrit before the Avrit scene, right? We needed more understanding of who he is, how he acts, what he does, in order to make the scene that we want actually happen and hit the way we want it to. And thus this timeline has entered in.
Was kind of, it was there, but the problem is then we would have had to wait until season 2 to have even more impact. We're like, no, he's gonna be an antagonist, and we want him to be seen as the real deal. We gotta introduce him sooner. We gotta introduce him with a little more oomph to him.
I also didn't want him to be Worf. I always forget the actual name of the character. I think it's Worf is the name of the character.
Worf?
Yeah, from Star Trek.
Ah, yes. You did mention that at one point. That was during one of our business meetings, I believe.
I'm pretty sure that that's from Red's, like, trope talks. I'm pretty sure I solely know that from one of Red's trope talks about, like, the big strong guy. I'm pretty sure that's what it's from. Like, you know, you have the 5-man band, right? And you have the strong guy, or whatever they're called. That, when she did, like, a whole thing on specifically that character trope, I'm pretty sure Worf gets brought up. And basically, I didn't want Avrit to be Worfed. And if you know, you know. If you want to ask, it's just a little more spoilers, but I don't think really in a bad way. Worf, yeah.
Yeah.
Worf's, I don't know how you say it.
The Worf effect.
Yeah, exactly.
Worf. I don't see any other way to
yeah. Face Your Puff knows what I'm talking about. So we didn't want Avrit to be Worfed, because Melano is a cool bro, and we like him, and he's really good at doing stuff.
And we want to showcase Melano's abilities, too.
Exactly. So you need to compare...
Might make Avrit look a little weak sauce, and we didn't want that.
Exactly. Yeah, basically, you know, Melano's real good. He's a pirate, and he's been a pirate for a while. And he's you know, that's a pretty good feat, man. And
but your antagonist has to be a threat. So we were like, well, that can't be his first introduction, because, not exactly what we're going for.
Yeah, you don't want your character that's supposed to be a threat introduced by having him solely interact with the character that doesn't take him as a threat.
Yeah.
And that was basically the concern I had about how we were introducing Avrit and how he was going to be interacting with Melano. And so we wanted to give him a little more...
We did find a workaround.
Oh, we did.
That is
it's very good.
Whole new
and it's created an entire new character.
2 pages.
Well, I don't know. If Mars says it's 2 pages, it's 4 pages. But, you know.
Well. That means a longer season 1 for us. Yay!
Yeah, exactly. But Brain has died.
That's okay. Pastry Puff, I gotta say, that's how writing goes sometimes, especially with fanfiction. I feel like with fanfiction, figuring out that in-between can be a little bit easier. Because if it's fanfiction, like, you've watched these characters, or you've played as these characters, like, they have responses that you're familiar with, and they have personalities you're familiar with that you've reasonably spent a lot of time with. So it can be a little easier figuring out that in between, depending on how well you know those characters.
And Pastry Puff, I was correct me if I'm wrong, because it's been a long time since I've watched that trope talk. But I'm pretty sure on top of that, it's specifically that Worf specifically never actually got to beat anything up and prove that he was strong besides talk. That it was literally like, oh yes, we talk about Worf being strong, and we talk about his, like, race being strong, because, like, he's a specific alien race, right?
And this is the classic don't tell.
He never actually gets to beat anything up. He's solely just bested, and so it doesn't feel
really
as
sad.
dire as it should, because we never actually get to see Worf being versus when you have like the Hulk. Okay, I think this was done better. You have the Hulk.
Okay.
And so we watch the Hulk repeatedly, like throughout definitely the first Avengers movie, a lot of the second Avengers movie. You watch him being like tearing through the little guys, like, you know, just smashing Loki, puny god, you know, all that sort of stuff, doing crazy shit. So when he like meets Thanos and shit, and when like, you know, all that sort of stuff happens, it's like, fuck, like Hulk is below Thanos. You're like, shit, right? You're like Hulk is secret
wrecked.
weapon,
and it really builds up Thanos as this threat, because if the Hulk can't deal with him, we're fucked.
Who fucking can, right? And so
exactly.
it's definitely done, in my opinion, done well.
That's a case
with the
of
Hulk.
Show not tell.
Exactly.
Like, that was a good way of doing it. Whereas,
and don't get me wrong, they still tell with Hulk in a joking way, but it's definitely backed up by
because you don't want to just have characters talk about how strong someone is. That's not satisfying. You want to see how strong they are. You want that payoff, because as a reader, as a audience member, that is satisfying.
Yeah.
I think I saw a thing from Mason go by. I'm just going to scroll up and double check. I have an idea of where I want the story to go, but I don't know any of the individual story beats. And that could be okay, Mason. Because if you have an idea of what you... sorry, I cannot talk for some reason. If you have an idea of where you want to go, and you know your characters, you have an idea of, okay, well, Sid is going to act like this in one situation, but someone else is going to have this different response. So now, like, that could lead to conflict. That could lead to maybe Sid trying something she never tried before. So sometimes the characters can guide what those individual story beats would be. This is my personal recommendation, just because I have found it helpful. It might not work for every writer, but I myself find it helpful, so I want to share it with you. I like having certain story beats planned out, because for me personally, it helps my project stay more focused. Like, take the fanfiction. So I wrote a fanfiction. It was Bashwood, and it was called Lost Geraniums. Basically, these were my three story beats. Vash lost his soul mark when he lost his arm. That was story beat 1. Story beat 2, he gets a concussion and sees Wolfwood's mark and recognizes
which is epic as fuck. The concussion part is written so well, guys. Like, damn. Medically accurate.
I need this shit. No, guys, okay, literally the day after I wrote that scene, I had my class, which talked about concussion symptoms, and I was like, well, fuck, I was kind of right on the money.
You were very on the money.
How that happened.
I'm like telling Mars, I like read it. I'm like, Mars, this is like 8 out of 4 of the 8 out of 12 symptoms to look for, or something like that. Oh my god!
It really, I wanted to be accurate. I like accuracy in my stories. I'm sorry. I study the shit, and now I know this, guys. It was a couple streams ago. This is why I said one of my pet peeves in fanfiction is incorrect young child talk. You don't just insert tweezes and like W's for R's everywhere. That's not how it works. But that's a whole nother tangent. Okay, so Mason, just super quick. I don't want to lose focus too much, but so I am studying to be a speech language pathologist, and I can teach kids, but I also have the option of going into medical facilities. So that deals with more swallowing, the brain, any injuries you might sustain in the brain. And this affects speech, language, as I said earlier, swallowing. It's a lot of different hats to wear, so you got to know a lot of stuff. But traumatic brain injury, stroke,
basically, because
it all
Mars
falls in the wheelhouse.
Mars deals with speech and swallowing and like eating and stuff like that. A lot of things that affect that in later life are having traumatic brain events, which a concussion is. So
a concussion very much is.
She learned about that.
Don't even get me started on that coup and contra coup. It's amazing. The SLP world is small. Maybe I've come across them, but okay. So that was story beat number 2. Vash needs to have a concussion and notice Wolfwood's soul mark and react to it. And then the third story beat was Vash and Wolfwood talk and get together. These were my 3 story beats that guided that fanfiction. And, you know, the interconnecting parts kind of came along because, okay, how is Vash going to get the concussion? Well, he needs to be hit by something. What is he going to be hit by? Okay, this is why I chose this. I watched a video of someone, it had to be on like Instagram or TikTok. Someone was turning around and accidentally hit the guy over the head with the metal pole he was carrying, like completely accidental. He was like carrying it over his shoulder, two-handed, turned around and clonked the guy on the back of the head.
Back and hit him again. I think I know what video you're talking about.
He does. I think you know what I'm talking about then. So I saw that and I was like, oh, okay, well, Wolfwood carries this really large cross-shaped gun. What if Vash got smacked in the head by that? So there's my connective tissue, right? That's how we get from point A to point B. They're fighting in a battle, and Wolfwood's gun knocks into Vash's head. So like, okay, how is it going to knock into Vash's head? Because Wolfwood isn't careless. He's very calculated. He knows where he's spinning that thing. He knows what he's doing. What could throw him off his game? Well, what if this other guy comes slamming into them and knocks them both over, and Wolfwood lands back first on top of Vash? So we have it from Wolfwood's perspective where he gets thrown backwards, and he's just like, oh crap, what'd I land on? Oh shit, that's off. Wait, what just made that clang sound? Oh crap, it's Vash's skull. That's not good.
I don't think you did, Mason.
I don't think you did, Mason. I feel like I would remember that.
Sounds like a very hard watermelon.
Why did you get hit by a watermelon? I gotta say that's a new one. But so yeah, but originally I did not go in with that plan. I did not go in thinking, okay, Wolfwood is going to hit Vash over the head with his gun. That's how Vash is going to be knocked out. Like, those pieces were not there yet, but those 3 story beats helped guide it along, which resulted in a much more focused story, I think, personally. I'll let you guys be the judge. So that's just my recommendation, is to have those beats planned out so you know where you're going. Do you always need them? Not always. Sometimes stories do benefit from taking a left turn or a different direction, because you never know, something might result in a better story. Like, for example, we originally thought Avrit's reveal was going to be this one specific scene in port. But then we decided to go another route, introduce a whole new character entirely, and
which honestly I'm in love with. He's great.
Option. Hi, Oscar. Oh, I see some
Oscar.
dancing happening. I'm very curious about this story now, Mason, if you want to share.
I was gonna say something. 1, we need more Hoatzin expressions. What Hoatzin expressions do we want? But 2...
Sly.
Sly?
Yeah. I don't know, it just feels right.
Okay.
Greetings indeed,
I can see it.
Oscar.
Alright, we'll
Hope
look
you're
at it in the
doing well.
Discord, Mason.
Alrighty, Mason.
I was gonna say something else, though, and my brain died.
No!
Oh!
It's too early for Midnight Brain.
This is for comics specifically, and I think this is very important. I think that it is important to have an entire scene written before doing the art for it. And the reason for
100%.
this is because, 1, sometimes you want to break up your comic in between, like in the middle of the scene. You want to break it up just, to save yourself from the length of having to do it. But because if you're...
What? That's not relatable at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
If you're in the middle of writing a scene and you already start drawing and you decide, I want to change some things in the scene that affect how the world looks, when characters are introduced in that scene, when they walk in or something like that, that then you would either have to not do because you already drew and like have it published one way, or now you have to go back and fix it, and it's just a lot more work for you, right? There's been a couple times in the comic where I've had to, like, reread Mars' script. This is not Mars' fault. This is me getting too excited. But reread the script because I'm like, ooh, I have all these ideas, and then I realize partway through, like, writing the ideas down, thankfully not drawing them, that, like, oh, this character doesn't show up until later in the scene, right? Like, in the entry that just came out yesterday, in the page that just came out yesterday, Melano, like, joins the group, right? So originally at one point I had posed him as if he was already there eating with everybody when eating with Sinnott and Aster when Hoatzin and Ferrix joined up the page before, but he doesn't come in until after them. So I had to, like, remind myself and make sure, and I almost did it again this time. I had to, like, change it because it's like, oh no, he comes later. I want him to be in the group shots. I like him. He's my boy.
I know you do.
This entry's gonna be rough, Mars.
I'm sorry.
It's a lot of group shots. Though. It's okay. It won't be that bad.
I think it'll be fine.
Okay.
We'll live.
So Sly, like the cat got the cream sort of vibe?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Like that, I could get away with this kind of look.
But yes, guys, I've started designing another set of characters. So we have this new character that never had planned to ever be existed in the way that he is. So now he gets, like, a full design and everything.
He was gonna be a background character, and now he's fully fleshed out.
He's got a little more going on now. He's still
He
a supporting character, I guess. I feel like, to me, there's, like...
I would say supporting.
I feel like there's, like, there's 3 groups. You have the main character, and then you have the side characters, which to me, you know, are still around a lot of it, right? Like, Stark in Freerun is a side character, but he's not a supporting character. The supporting characters are barely
supporting
there.
character would be Ubel.
Yeah, Ubel's a supporting character. When we know about her, we see her, you know, or the two, Flame, or the two girls, that we see, you know, where they're like,
Winnie.
Yeah. Or they're like, there for the plot, they have enough personality to be their own person, but they're mainly there to drive the story, and they're not really part of the story, if that makes sense, right? They're more of like an advanced prop.
They're kind of there
Winnie.
to flesh out the world a little bit. Maybe
like, they have a
that
personality
the main character can learn from,
but you don't really explore them to the
but you're
depth
not looking
that you
into
would
their
even see a
backstory.
side character done, right?
Yeah.
And then a side character is obviously just not the main character, so they won't get as much in-depthness as the main characters, but still
not as much.
A
but
lot
you still
more.
Might get a little something from them.
So.
I think that's pretty cool. And you can have so many types of characters.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be a discussion one night. The different types of characters you can have. We could talk about protagonists, antagonists. Oh, antagonist versus villain. Let's go.
All right, write it down. You know where to write it.
The fact people use antagonist and villain interchangeably drives me nuts. Guys, take notes. A villain and an antagonist are not the same thing. They are different.
You hear that, guys? Don't use them interchangeably, or Mars will come get you. And I don't know what she'll do after that, but it'll be something.
Oh, I make no promises. It'll be ugly. Thank you, Pastry Puff! Thank you.
Okay, I had an idea, and then I didn't like it, so we're changing it. For the pose
I
for
am
Sly.
only familiar with Junko Mason. and only via appearance. I'm not sure what she did, so I'll have to take your word for it. I'm still debating playing Danganronpa. The trial scenes scare me because I've heard they go by quick, and I'm like, I'm not fast.
Yeah, oh, no.
Like
Could not.
reactionary time, guys. There's a reason I don't do hack and slash fighting games. My reaction time is bad. This is why I play RPGs that let you stay on the menu as long as you need. Maybe I'll watch a Let's Play. That could be fun.
Ooh, there you go.
I need something to watch during my lunch. And headphones. Headphones would be nice.
You don't have earbuds? I thought you do.
I did, and then they broke. They started doing the
no.
thing where you had to hold them at a certain angle
Oh,
to get the
yeah!
sound.
I remember
And-
when we were
okay,
still ranting about link click.
Here was the slow decline of my earbuds, you guys. So I'm one of those people who still use the wired earbuds. Don't ask, I don't know why. Well, actually I do. One, they're cheaper. Two, it honestly saved my phone from crashing into the floor multiple times. So that's a plus.
So they're
and
a
also-
bungee cord, guys.
Oh, basically, it's basically a bungee cord for the phone. Although, to be fair, most of those incidents probably never would have happened without the wire in the first place. So,
Ooh.
it gets 22, I don't know.
Yeah, debatable now
All
on their
I know
usefulness.
is wireless does not fit in the budget right now. So,
No, I made Mars
Basically-
buy convention tickets and cosplays, so she can't
oh
buy
yeah,
earbuds.
really put me out of pocket there. $10 for a convention. How shall I ever recover?
Edgeworth is an antagonist. Manfred's a villain.
Fantastic, Pastry
Yep.
Puff. You got it.
Francisca's antagonist. Dahlia's a villain. Yep.
Oh.
Godot's an antagonist.
So maybe I don't have to give this talk. You guys already know.
Yeah, always other people.
My hopes and dreams crushed. It's okay. I'll recover.
There's one I
But-
do think, Pastry Puff, that time is an excuse to spoil for movies, not video games. But
Video games fall into that
warnings
weird
are
nebulous
still
area.
warnings
just
are
'cause, like,
still
yes, it's
courtesy for
mainstream,
anything.
but also, like, not everyone gets around to playing a certain genre. Or
I
something,
find-
where,
I
like,
find
if
just-
a movie becomes mainstream, then everyone gets the spoiler.
Well, I also find that, like, one, when a movie becomes mainstream, like, the mainstream media spoils it for you. Like,
oh yeah, no, exactly.
like, it doesn't, you can't escape.
Trust me, I tried.
And two, these spoilers for the Bible. Oh no, I haven't
Oh,
read
no!
that one. Oof, Pastry Puff. It is still 100% common courtesy to just be like, can I say spoilers? You know,
Yeah.
but it is one of those things where it's like, I'm gonna talk about, like, movies and old shows much more
I gotta
openly.
be honest. If I'm spoiling something from Star Wars and you guys don't know, that's on you.
Especially the original and the prequel. Sequel,
Yeah,
honestly, I don't remember very much.
I'm kind of like, you guys have no excuse.
But it's still like Star Wars spoilers, and then you move on quick. But you know,
Yeah.
it's not like as
I guess it's not as strict.
yeah, exactly. Versus like Dungeon Meshi spoilers, I'm like, no, don't say anything.
Even though I've read it.
I want to
don't.
so bad.
I need to catch up. I'm so behind on that show.
Yes,
I'm behind on all my shows.
I'm more behind than you on Dungeon Meshi without question. I've only managed to keep up with Tadaima Kairi and Windbreaker. Did I put Windbreaker on my anime list? I don't know.
You should.
Obviously I should, but I don't know if I did it or not already. The question is, do I still need
Pastry
to?
Puff, did you do your homework? Did you watch Windbreaker?
Oh yeah. I'll give Pastry Puff a little pass for 2 more days because then summer break happens.
All right, there's some time.
So you should have at least started watching it by stream on Thursday, okay?
It's so good, please. All right, all right. We expect a full report by Thursday.
Exactly. It comes out Thursday evening, so
Which is beautiful.
yeah.
Is my
Before
day.
stream. Before stream.
Watch.
Oh, we finally get to see the good one, hopefully! The leader fight.
I need it. I need it. I need it.
Bad. I need to see
how
how
the
he
leader fights.
fights. Oh my god.
I need to see how Hajime fights.
Yes, thank you. His name is Hajime, and nobody can convince me that anybody ever calls him anything else. It's just too good. It's like saying you don't call Acro Acro. You call him something else. His regular name. His Dingaling brother's name. That's what his last name is, I'm pretty sure!
It's Dingaling?
It wasn't no, it wasn't Dingaling.
I thought it was something close to
It
that,
was
but not actually
Dingling?
Dingaling.
I think it was Dingling.
I think it was Dingling too.
That's close enough. We
about it.
definitely
I think
made
we
joke about
jokes about
No,
slipping up and
Mr. Puff
saying
says
Dingling.
Dingling!
Ken Dingaling? Oh,
Oh,
God,
now I have to
wow.
look this up. Actually, I feel like the A is not actually there because it's Ringling, not Ringaling, right? So, I feel like it'd be Dingling.
I don't know. Pastry Puff is saying it's
Acro.
Dingaling.
No offense to Pastry Puff. Yeah, there's no
Why
A.
are they so cruel
no
to
A.
these characters?
It's Dingling. There's no A.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, there's no way. There's no freaking way.
Perfect, Pastry Puff. That's acceptable on your homework. At least the first episode by Thursday. During Thursday on stream.
That's a good compromise.
But yes, it's very good. We very stan. But
yes.
I've designed 2 new characters now that they both need color. They haven't gotten color yet.
Yes.
I'm excited
They
to
are
color the one a
lovely.
lot. Ring ding dingaling. The Ring Ding brothers. The ring a ding ding. Bring bong bong bring bong bong bring bong bong bong.
Guess what Ori has been watching recently?
That's just a fun one. That's another. Okay. It's not as bad as Fairy Tale for the plot because it doesn't take itself seriously, right? Like the whole show knows that it's a joke. It is being a joke, right? But it's just a funny little little romp, if you want.
It's lighthearted, and that was very needed after fucking Link Lick.
Ugh, don't get me on it again. I can't think about it. If I think about it, I start going down the rabbit hole again. The conspiracy, the theory rabbit hole. Just thinking about what season 3 will bring. I can't even.
My heart.
Dragon Ball used to have a plot a long time ago. Yeah,
Just let my boys be happy.
exactly.
All I want.
Do you think? I don't think season 3 will be the last one. Do you?
I hope not.
Well, it
I
depends
want
on what they
it to
get
be
through. If I'm
to,
being
like,
honest.
continue. That's true. We'll see. I keep hearing the new season is called the London arc,
Yeah.
so I don't
Which
know
feels
why
like
we're
it's in the
going to
past,
London.
if I'm being honest, because they were abroad in the past, right? So I don't know.
Wondering. I mean, we know the soccer guy is going to be involved
Yeah.
in some way. It's getting like more and more focused on. I'm trying to talk about this without giving spoiler.
No, you're good. We don't have to talk about it more. I'm just so not ready.
You can never be ready. Dragon Ball used to have a plot a long time ago. I've considered Dragon Ball. I don't know. I feel okay, so guys, full truth here. Sometimes I get nervous checking out like quote unquote classics or staple anime cuz I'm just like, what if I don't think it's as good as people say it is? Like full disclosure, I did not like Evangelion. I thought it was decent. And then it got to the episode toward the end, and to my understanding, the studio ran out of money and had to wrap up the season very quickly. But man, did they wrap it up like so quickly, and the animation style changed so much. I was like, I am watching a totally different show right now, and this makes absolutely no sense. What the hell is this ending? I think it's kind of a sign if you have to keep doing remakes and movies because the original story did not come across the way you wanted it to. That's the reasoning I keep hearing for why we keep getting Evangelion movies, is that the original story was not written the way it was intended to, so they had to fix it. I don't know. I wonder if it was one of those cases where, you know, it's one of the older animes, so like we didn't have a ton of access back then as we do now. So like for the few ones people did get to see, and it was
I
so
think
different
that is
from American animation back then. Maybe it's a little of a rose-colored lens.
I think that a lot.
I mean, like what you like. I am not here to judge. Like what you like. I just don't think it was for me.
I think that in any medium, a lot of the staples are not necessarily going to hold up, right? Like Shakespeare is very influential on a lot of words we say, on a lot of things we do. That doesn't mean
words,
that
a lot of pop culture,
like everything
even a lot of
itself,
media.
and that doesn't mean that like reading all of his works is like chill. Like, oh god, the amount of times people make fun of A Midsummer's Night's Dream because Puck is basically roofing people is like god. Yeah, that aged well, you know. Queen is overrated. I only know like the couple, like the iconic Queen songs, so you know it doesn't.
Okay, Mason, between you and me, I can't stand "We Are the Champions." I can't stand that song. I am just exposing myself tonight, you guys.
So that's one of the ones I know by name, but I've literally only listened to it when Chicken Little sings it in Chicken Little. I don't think I've ever listened to it all the way through.
That. Why was that the movie that was constantly on in elementary school?
Because
Like,
it had so many references that adults liked it too. Like, I think that had to be what it was. Because it had so many references. Like, that's... I only know Staying Alive from that as well. Like, this is how I learned about the existence of these songs, right? It was Chicken Little. Right? Yeah. Tell me what you want, Chicken Little. You know, We Are the Champions, Chicken Little. Staying Alive, Chicken Little. You know, yeah. Lollipop, shit. Ain't no mountain high enough. That one's Chicken Little as well. Don't go breaking my heart. That one's Chicken Little as well.
That's a good one.
Those are all songs that I solely know from watching the Chicken Little movie. Like, that's what introduced me to the existence of those songs. I could trace them all back to the Chicken Little movie.
That's hysterical.
Yeah.
Fitting for CPR training.
It is.
Did they choose that song because of the beat and it helps you count?
Yeah, so
like
the BPM is the right amount. I think it's supposed to be 120 BPM has to be how it is. So that's 2 beats a second. I think you're right. And yes, Staying Alive is a classic one because, well, it also fits, it's also funny, but you have to do solely the, like, Staying alive, ha, ha ha ha. You can't do like the middle parts because it like slows down. But that's the only part most people know. But The Office makes fun of it because in I've never actually seen The Office, but I think his name is Dwight, is like doing it, and he like goes into the rest of the song, and it it's a different beat, and they're like, no, you can't do that. The whole thing there. But there's a lot of songs that people do. I think that things like Queen and the Beatles are some of those things that get they were very influential for a lot of different reasons to, again, how modern music is today. And there's a lot of, not necessarily a lot, there's a good amount of songs that are so pop culturally relevant that everybody knows them, right? Like We Are the Champions or Bohemian Rhapsody or, picking various amounts of Beatles songs, right? But then there's also my aunt is a massive Beatles fan, and there are so many Beatles songs that I've never heard of, right? I'm not a person that goes out of my way to listen to the Beatles, right? It was something I was exposed to through existing in the world and having people in my life that enjoy them, but it definitely was never I've never listened to Queen, right? I know it. I know Bohemian Rhapsody. I learned it in chorus. I learned, like I said, Chicken Little. But that doesn't mean necessarily that, one, everything holds up, because the point is that they're a stepping stone in the pillar of music today, right? Yeah. And you would assume, in an ideal world at least, that everything is trying to improve. So just because they're revolutionary at the time doesn't make them still revolutionary now. But that doesn't, I think, even if they can be considered quote unquote bad now, compared to what we have, doesn't make them not revolutionary, right, of their time. Think about Star Wars, the original, the main 3 Star Wars. When you look at them, the effects are definitely old. Okay? Now, they did do all practical effects, but it's definitely you can see, you can tell, right? You can tell. Now, the movie holds up pretty well overall, but at the time, that was revolutionary stuff. That was cutting edge stuff. The amount of puppets, the actual staging of the whole thing, the way that it is. Same with The Hobbit, right? Lord of the Rings, right? All the perspective shots to make the hobbits look short compared to Gandalf, and all this sort of stuff, is revolutionary. Now, just because we have CGI and really good effects, and even when you look at something like The Mandalorian, where they still made Baby Yoda a puppet, it's still better than Yoda, right? Just because we have more technology. And that doesn't make Star Wars not a good stepping stone in the effects world, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it still holds up today because we've improved. And I think that's a big thing with anime. I think anime itself, being that it has so recently been so prominent in the Western sphere as well, versus back in Evangelion times, you had to go find the anime, you're trading handmade DVDs, and stuff, a VHS to people, here, watch the thing, right? I've recorded it, and it was same with there's a lot more fan dubbing, and there's a lot more fan subbing, and all this sort of translations and all this sort of stuff, that now that it's much more popular as a medium in general, even though that not every single one is getting the same level of attention of the mainstream, obviously Jujutsu Kaisen is a big one, My Hero was a big one,
Attack on Titan,
yeah,
all of them.
And then you go further back, Naruto, Dragon Ball, all that sort of stuff, just because those shaped what we are today. There's a lot of Naruto that's no, it definitely doesn't hold up the same, it's definitely a shonen, right? Same with Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail has been around for a long time, much earlier in, I don't think it's not as old as Evangelion, but it's still in that sort of sphere where, like, you were still weird for watching anime, right? Like, the majority of people didn't know what anime was. Yeah, and it was just, you couldn't, like, today, I don't think you could throw a stone with people in, like, millennial and younger age bracket that haven't heard of the main animes, right? But back then, it was still like, no, not necessarily everybody had even heard of anime. Maybe Naruto, and that's like a, you didn't even know. But the old ones only hold up so well. Because the times as well. I mean, you watch, like, old cartoons, too. Western cartoons. And it's just like, oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
We had that?
All the ones coming out nowadays are about, like, this doesn't hold up quite as well. Or, wow, this should have been better screened before it went out.
Yeah, exactly. And the ones that do hold up, all the more power to them, right?
Yeah.
Both, Mason. Both. You have both. Because obviously,
you can absolutely talk about the quality of the dub, but it's more so like, I think what Ori's referring to are the contents of the show. Like, you have the messaging, you have the directions.
Yeah, that's mainly what I'm talking about. But dub is the same
in the past than it does now, just because of new perspectives, new ideas.
Because I'm trying to think specifically, like, I'll get, like, a very good example if I have 1 second. I'm trying to think
for an example of something that did age well, or something.
No, I'm trying to think of an example that is something that is like, this is a pillar of, like, original anime time. So in my brain, I guess I go to, like, the first Voltron, right, when it was an anime, right? That is some it's rough to watch because it's very much this was to sell toys to children. Right? It's when you see the ones that make fun of that, this is to sell the cool mech toy to a child sort of shows, right? And they don't hold up. But then you get later on, and just anime in general after that, or you get freaking North Star, right? You can't watch that. I can't watch that. It's like a whole thing. But God, no, Jesus Christ. And just, like, even forget, like, the dub itself, but just voice acting in general. You watch, like, older shows, like older Western made in English shows, and, like, the voice acting is so different than, like, any shows now. Just
I think the word we'd use to describe it is hokey.
Hokey, and just the way that, like, the standard has changed, right? The method has changed. Because I wouldn't go out there and necessarily say that SpongeBob has spectacular voice acting, right? They have goofy voices, characters, and that's the whole premise of the show. They're supposed to be goofy, and that is done well. But versus you have, like such a moving sort of voice acting as you can see in, like, Avatar: The Last Airbender, like, moving moments like that. Like, you're not getting that out of SpongeBob. Teen Titans, yeah. And so it is, like, a mix. And I think that's something that you have to think about, basically, to sum my whole point up in the end.
But that one's also very much genre dependent.
Well, it's genre dependent, but you see that through anime.
Teen Titans, Avatar's, like, they're both action shows, but they're also dramas in a sense.
But you see that a lot more in anime, I find, where the voice acting, and I'm not talking about the dubs, I'm talking about, like, the original Japanese, has a very different tone to it for the same kind of show. Like, you watch, Fist of the North Star, sounds very different. Say, Voltron sounds very different than, even going to, like, Naruto, and everything like that. Just the style.
Hello.
Not to be nooping indeed, but you get to spend time with us instead.
Yes.
Well, I draw Hoatzin a little too smug. I need to fix his eyes. They're not right.
I wasn't expecting the over-the-shoulder slide, but this works.
It wasn't the original plan for the design, but it felt right in the end. But his eyes are not correct.
This is what Hoatzin wanted.
Yeah, this is what Hoatzin wanted.
This is what Hoatzin asked for.
This is what we talk about. when we say stuff like that. Because the ticket is keeping his eye shape, but half-lidding him. And that's the ticket.
He doesn't do a ton of half lids. He's very wide-eyed.
Yeah.
In most of his iterations. It's a new look.
But he
for him.
still has a pointed corner, which I specifically don't put in that new character I just designed today.
Mm. But this is why it's important to have a reference, because this space isn't done too often, but it's still there. It'll be good to have something to refer back to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how it goes, Pastry Puff. I'm
100%.
trying to think of an example when that happened. I think that happened a lot when we were choosing the original backstories for our main boys. Like, for Aster, we knew he liked cooking. Like, he's the main cook of the Outcast group. So we were like, okay, we gotta pick a job for him that he absolutely hated, crushed his soul. I'm like, okay, he would hate canning things. Because I don't know if you guys
In like a
watch,
factory
Hell's
assembly
Kitchen
line.
or Kitchen Nightmares, but Gordon Ramsay is basically like the antithesis of good food is frozen, canned, just slapped in that packaging type of food. And I was like, okay, I feel like Aster would be on board for that. And he was like, yeah, you know what would make it even more soul draining? On a conveyor belt line, on an assembly line. I'm
monotonous.
Like, yes.
Definitely not homesteading vibes.
Not homestay, not like, oh, love and care went into this. I specially prepared this meal for you. Nope, soulless,
Getting
slapped
to
in a
pick the
can.
flavors to pickle it? No.
Mm-mm. Process to oblivion. Yep. And that's how it happens, Pastry Puff. I think that's how we landed on Sinnit being non-binary as well.
Exactly.
He was just like, hi, yes, I'm a non-binary. We're like, okay.
Just like,
even though sometimes
what's
I do
this?
still use he pronouns.
Well, he's he, they.
They, I think.
He, they. That's what we confirmed.
Our non-binary sushi boy.
Indeed. Everybody's a boy. That's not a gendered term. They're all my boys.
BOI.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
It is specific. The BOI is the gender neutral term. Even Mars is my boy.
Oh, I kind of like that actually.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, all my boys.
My boys.
I literally always spell it with an I when I do that.
My phone now autocorrects BOY to BOI. I'm just like, uh-oh.
No, it's
Oops.
beautiful. No, oops.
That was probably a mistake. Well, it doesn't help if I'm typing a report on the go.
Oh, well,
And it
okay.
Well, it's like, oh, yeah, that can't go in a report. Oops.
The boy BOI was had a speech impediment,
Yes.
whatever.
The boy was seen today. Uh-oh. Whoops. No, phone, not that boy. That's sometimes one of the funny things about the autofill. This happened with Dungeon Meshi, or was it something else? No, I remember what happened. So Ori, you were telling me about a voice actor, and we were trying to find people similar to them, people they also voiced.
Okay.
And I texted you, oh my gosh, they did Tahomaru from Dororo. So the only context I've ever texted about Tahomaru is to another friend, all in caps, because we were quote unquote screaming about it. So when I typed in Tahomaru, it immediately went to all capitals. So it's just like, oh yeah, this guy also voiced Tahomaru in Dororo.
It does that to me with certain words. Especially if I, like, I don't
know why that broke me, it just did.
I think sometimes cook and eat are all caps.
So when you're texting Dylan, it just goes like, "Hey Dylan, you want to eat?" Because that's how it's read. That's how all caps are read.
Yeah. Because when Mars and I type in caps, it's always like oh, he fucking served. Oh my fucking god.
Who was the chef? Because they cooked.
Yeah, exactly.
Just feral, absolutely feral. And now my phone thinks that's the default way I want to type these words. So
you were so close, Mars.
I was. It's sad. Now I gotta double check everything. Make sure it's not all caps. Make sure it's not boy instead of boy.
Yeah. Boy. I will say the characters a
Oh,
lot
you
of
meant I
times.
was so close about the trivia?
Yeah.
Damn! Ugh. Did I get the number right?
Yeah, just one of your colors was wrong.
One color? DM me directly. I can't wait
Alright.
for the answer. I
Alright.
gotta know. I gotta know. Where did my brain fail me? I tried so hard
There you
and
go.
guessed so far. But in the end, I missed the color. Are you kidding me?
No.
God damn it. Oh, I hate that. That hurts. Cause the color I guessed instead of the correct one is like, if I just pictured it differently.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you were thinking of
would've
the
been
right
so
bird,
close.
actually. Just
I think I was,
different
but
color
I was like,
morph.
no, it needs to be a full color. I got there. You know what? I'll take my half points with grace.
And dignity.
Quiet, grace, and dignity.
Okay. We're loving the liquefy tool tonight because his face just ain't doing what I want it to do. Okay, this has
Like,
improved.
I want to make this pose, Ori. It's your
And
job
I'm like,
to figure it out.
Yeah. Well, the one issue I have with like certain levels of turned head is when the nose starts to overlap the cheek. Because there's like, you can't have it touching the cheek line. You can't have that. Like the tip can't be touching the side of the face line. Like that's not, it doesn't look good. It looks weird. It's wrong. Okay? And so it's always like is it rotated enough where I make it so the nose is past it or not past it? And that's always the question.
Decisions.
Indeed. And that's why we flip the canvas. Oh, flipping the canvas.
Whip Canvas. Oh, God.
Candace!
Wake me up inside. I can't wake up.
Oh no. Yeah, you're really feeling working, Mars?
Oh, I knocked out so hard yesterday. Literally, so I started a new internship. It's very fun. I really like it. I like being there. It's a very fast-paced setting. I definitely have not been practicing getting up at the right time. So yesterday was a bit of a jolt for my body.
Oh, what'd you have to get up?
5:50.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I get up at 6, but that
here's
10
the
minutes
thing.
matters.
Guys, I will die on this hill. Waking up and getting up are two different things.
Oh, yes.
I wake up at
Oh, yes.
5:50. I get up at 6:20.
Yeah, no. Oh, I feel this vibe a lot.
So, the alarm is set to wake me up, to pull me out of that sleep. And then I actually move my butt at 6:20 to like actually get ready. problem with getting up so early, my stomach really does not like it when I eat early. So I either got to eat in the car when I get there or bring a little something with me. I didn't do that yesterday because I was feeling those first day jitters. So I was like, I'll grab some later. It'll be fine.
It was not fine.
Lunch was a little late in the day. So my body was like, okay, we don't know what's going on right now. So it takes some adjusting. Then I also had class last night, which went until about 7 o'clock. Got home at 8. Showered immediately. My mom brought me some pasta, and then I immediately knocked out. It was like 9 o'clock. I'm just like, okay, I am deceased. I literally told my mom, like, I'm going to take a 20-minute power nap. I don't want to take a 3-hour nap because then I'm going to mess up my sleep schedule. Turned out I didn't even need to worry about that because I just slept through the entire night.
Yeah, it works
From
out.
9 o'clock in the morning, I was like, oh, well. At least I remembered to set my alarm before passing the hell
Yeah,
out.
really, that would have been rough.
That would have been bad. But nah, it's really fun. It's really good. It's that time you need to give your body to adjust. I don't know if you guys can relate to that, but it's like when you change up your schedule, sometimes your body is like, are we sure about this? Then you give it 2-3 days and it's like, oh, okay, we're chill now. We'll settle. You can do your thing now. It's like, thank God.
At this point, I don't remember changing my sleep schedule. So, I can't say.
Can't tell if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I will say this morning, I woke up to my alarm, but apparently didn't actually, and just hit it, and it went to snooze, and then I woke up 20 minutes later to the snooze, and I know Dylan was very upset with me. But I, like, didn't even process, like, I don't even remember the first alarm. It was nothing. Okay.
It'd be like that sometime.
He finally exists! Smug Hoatzin.
Ah, look at him.
Okay, last Hoatzin.
Look at the boy.
What's one more Hoatzin expression?
So we got scared, we got sly.
We could have nervous if that's different from. I mean, I do draw it slightly different from scared, but it is
slightly different.
in the ballpark. We could have the like sparkle eyes thing. He does that a lot.
Ooh,
like the
sparkle eyes.
Okay.
Sparkle eyes. I think we have to. We absolutely have to.
Okay, and I'm gonna draw him from the other side because I have nothing with his undercut on that side. So you gotta plan and have all your birds in one stone.
Yes. And then you throw that stone.
Okay, and he'll be looking kind of down because he's looking at something.
Ooh. It can never go wrong with those starry eyes.
Yeah. And Hoatzin has a soft jaw.
Because he is soft boy.
Yes. I'm very excited about the characters I've designed recently. I feel like they're fun. I feel like they're cool. I can't wait to show them off eventually.
Ori really pushed herself to do some designs that were like out of her usual wheelhouse. I thought they were super impressive.
I definitely didn't want to.
Sometimes I worry text can't convey that all that well.
Ooh, pondering was when I was thinking Taste Puff. Oh, I'm sorry. You cut out there, Mars. You read the what?
Oh, so Ori sends me a lot of her art over Discord, and I'm like, oh, text.
Because Mars can't be spoiled.
What I feel right now. So I'm like, every time I'm just like, this is stunning. This is amazing. This is beautiful. I'm like, I need to find different words. Like this doesn't encapsulate how awesome this is.
Oh. I'm honored. That's the word. I'm glad you like them so much. Yeah, I did specifically try to push
Good.
myself.
Especially like the one you sent me today.
Yes, okay, I'm very happy with him. I had like a thought,
He is lovely.
and I was just like, ooh, I need it. Okay, my brain gives like, he's like a zero fail. I didn't mean to in like looks, but he kind of is. But you gotta have the crazy
God damn
eyes.
it, I can see it.
Yeah. Again, there was no reference. It was not intended, but I did it, and I was like, yeah, he's got that Aziraphale vibes, which, you know, not upset about, but it's just kind of funny.
Geez. We do like Aziraphale in this house.
We do.
Even if he is a dumbass.
But, and then I had some ideas for the other one that goes with him, but I think I'm gonna have to rework her because I want her to have a specific look.
Ooh. I'm curious to see the new look.
Yeah, that one I did look up some references for, so hopefully it'll translate good.
Can't wait to see what this turns out.
But I'm very excited. It'll be nice.
That's always
yeah.
what we want.
Basically, I know that I draw a very specific type of boy usually, and you know, you see it across all of our lovely main characters, and I did that purposefully in the sense of I know I have to draw them all the time, like all the time, so I want them to be something that comes easy and is nice and that I like to draw and isn't a struggle, right? But so then for the side characters, it's like, okay, the world is large, they don't all they shouldn't all look like the boys. They should be varied because people are varied. And you know what? I'm still loving them. I'm still loving them all.
I think you guys are gonna love these new characters.
I still love how all of them look, even though they have very different like body types and stuff than the rest of the main cast. I think the only character that I don't think is like good looking is Olus that I've designed, because I love the one we just made, the color we made, Mars. I love him more than I thought I would. And then yeah, I'm really enjoying this character, and I'm excited for the other one. And then I think those are all the main like designed introductions for season 1 that we have.
I think so.
2 of them I don't
Then
even think show up
we're off
on
to the races.
screen though, do they?
No, they really don't.
Yeah, I just wanted to nail it down, have an idea of how they vibe. Because I think, at least, I'm curious, Mars, does it help when you see them to visualize their like voices and how they act?
Oh, 100%, 100%. Because, you know, sometimes you just imagine a certain voice going with a certain character. It's kind of that paradox, I think, that happens. Because sometimes you watch something. This happens very often, where, like, let's say you're doing a book to movie adaptation, and you've been reading that book, you've been imagining the character's voice a certain way, and then you see them on screen and you hear the voice that goes with them, and you're like, oh, wow, that is not what I envisioned at all, and suddenly, like, your perception is a little bit warped. Or even vice versa, where it's like you can tell with the voice casting, like, oh wow, that voice does not fit that kind of character. Like, what were they thinking? I think it's just these subtle nuances we as people pick up on, where we're just like expecting to hear a certain voice come out of a certain person.
Yeah.
And I think having that base, having the design first, having that person first, really helps me envision, okay, now I know what they're going to sound like. Now I know what kind of voice. And now, like, based on seeing these different personality references, like, are they angry? Are they secretive? Are they this? Are they that? That helps guide the dialogue as well. Because someone who's, let's say, secretive is probably going to have more vague dialogue or less descriptive dialogue if they're trying to keep things to themselves. Or maybe they'll sound very pleasant or very fake when like deep down they got something else going on. So absolutely 100%. I don't think we've ever had an instance where I imagine the character's voice before their design. Well, okay, maybe that's not true because we talked about it a bit earlier. We do have that entry where we're going to focus on a different area for a bit, and it's going to have these side characters as well as Avrit. One of the characters there, I tried scripting some dialogue because I wanted a scene between him and Avrit. So Avrit was very easy to write dialogue for him. He needed to sound intimidating, he needed to sound threatening, but he also needed to sound a little pompous as well. And for that, I had to imagine, okay, what are some retorts to this line? Because I know I want this character to be like, I want him to fight back a little bit. I want him to like kind of have that fight the power kind of energy to him, but he's also like, he's been locked up, he's probably tired, so like we gotta encapsulate that as well. So I just started experimenting, like writing stuff for him, and I'm like, okay, I'm not hearing the voice now. This is the distinction. I'm not hearing the voice. I'm not hearing what he sounds like, but I'm getting a feel for tone. I'm getting a feel for intonation and word choice. It's not so much hearing the character's voice as much as it is hearing their personality. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. It was a very long-winded way to describe that, but it really does kind of come through. Because at that point, I did not have a design to work with. All I had were the scene and what needed to happen. We had a general idea of what animal we wanted to base him on, and we were kind of working with that, but that didn't really impact the dialogue choices that much. That all came down to his personality. So as I was writing it, I was like, okay, I can envision this. I can kind of envision what kind of face he'd make with that. I can hear the tone that would go along with this. Like, if he's been in jail, like I said, he's probably tired. Maybe he's a little dehydrated. You know, he's probably not being fed well. So it's like that kind of fight the power type of voice. Like, oh, you think you could take me down? Just you wait. Like, exhausted but still fighting. Like, that's the tone I'm hearing. Not so much the voice itself, where it's like, oh, it's high-pitched tenor, or it's more of a baritone, and maybe it's a little raspy, but it's more the personality. How many design iterations do you usually go through?
First, I want to say,
question.
Yeah, first, pastry puff. I think the way to think about it is which of those positions, occupations, could best make for cool harkens back during the mystery and how the character relates to the mystery, right? Just like how we didn't design Aster with the idea that he would be canon. We designed him as a person first and then went, what's the most soul-crushing job that this character could have, right? And then sort of went back from there. Mason, we do that all the time. A lot of how the story is written is, we want to see this scene happen. We know it's way down the line, but it'll happen.
I want a very certain scene to happen, but it's really not gonna happen till later.
There's a couple certain scenes that Mars is like dying for, but they're definitely late game scenes.
They're so late game, and I'm sad. I guess I'll just have to keep listening to music and imagining them.
Yeah, exactly. But how many design iterations? I will say that 90% of the time, I'm fairly like automatic in what I'm looking for. I will say I think a lot of that does help with the colors specifically because they are designed off of their animals, right? And so they do have sort of like a template, I guess you could say, to go off because you want their colors, you want their look, you want their features and everything. Because even the features that they that aren't explicitly animal features, you know, you want them to resemble sort of the creature that they are. Like Feryx is long and lanky and you know and this sort of thing because the fossa is like that, right? Etc. I think Everett so far has been the character with the
Everett
most
had the most
iterations,
because his suit really was
but
giving
it
us
was
some
it was
difficulty.
his outfit. Yeah, it was
The
his outfit.
uniform was most troubling.
But it was also important. But I will say his outfit was most
Ori wanted
important.
waiters so
I
bad.
really
on
wanted
him.
waiters really badly, and
At
that's a
least
kill
4
your
of those
darling sort
designs
of
had
thing.
waiters. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I know. It's okay. But that was like a kill your darlings kind of thing, because I love the idea of waiters. I think in real life they look cool, but it just like thigh waiters, hip waiters, but it just wasn't happening, which was sad. So I did have to give that up. But it was also his outfit itself was most important, right? The rest of the characters,
uniform.
yeah, exactly.
So
Other people would have to wear his outfit, right?
Yeah.
And it would have to be his outfit is special in a couple of ways, but because it's a uniform, it's I'm designing this for the rest of the comic, right? Nobody else has to wear Hoatzin's outfit. It doesn't have to look good on anybody else, right? It doesn't. Same with everybody else's. It does have to make sense. Like the outfits work to accommodate the animal features when they have for the collars. The outfits are meant to represent their occupations. Like Sinet's outfit is based off like an old-timey nurse's uniform. Ferrex's outfit is based loosely off of what tree climbers, like professional tree climbers for like tree trimming and stuff, wear and things like that. Aster has the apron and everything specifically, and his jacket is his vest is like a little chef related, but not incredibly. But those are just things that I thought about when designing those characters. But I will admit that as a person in general, I'm fairly confident right off the bat. So the main crews didn't go through a ton. I think out of the main group, Ferrex had the most sort of iteration. Briefly, because his original outfit looked kind of too modern. And then we sort of pared it back down into sort of the quote-unquote fake era that Outcast exists in. Sinet's was a little bit of a struggle to make it in between, but I guess I never do full iterations. And so this is hard. It's hard to sort of quantify because let me show something. Because I'm pretty sure there's no spoilers with it. Main cast. Everett. So this is something I sent. Okay. Mars. And this was to design Everett's outfit. So I had designed 3 different types of tops, of like jackets. And I had designed a bunch of different like shoe ideas. And sort of things. These are the waiters. So sad.
Everett has definitely had the most iterations.
But the
like
difference,
no other page
the
had this
thing
many.
to sort of nail down is I don't actually know if I have any like old designs for the other characters.
Were they all sketchbook design?
No, they weren't. I know they were digital. But maybe there's someone else? Maybe there's somewhere else? I don't want to open any because in case they have spoilers. But I don't remember them as well, if I'm being honest. And so it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I don't usually get it 100% the first try, but they usually aren't as far off as Everett's outfit was. Everett's outfit was definitely like, here's one uniform design, here's another one, and I kind of was like, I don't know which one we like the best, and then it was like, I don't know which shoes we like the best, or anything like that. What sort of thing goes on? Yawn.
Yawn.
But everybody else sort of had, I do remember Ferrex's outfit being like we didn't like it, and changing it, but the rest of him was the same. I do remember Sinet's doing a little bit of like I was doing research and stuff to try and figure out exactly what I was going for. Melano's really old, but his design relatively stayed the same. I don't do, and this is a really funny thing, and so this makes it hard for me to sort of quantify iterations in the sense of that my method is usually think about what we want the character to be, or the idea I have for the character, like with the most recent one, like how I want them to complement. So basically, one of the characters I designed today is one of, for lack of a better term, Everett's lackeys. He has like 2 lackeys basically, and or designing them. But I had a specific sort of vibe in mind about how they measure up to Everett, right? I want how they look around Everett, and I kind of wanted to like, do like a circumvention of a lot of tropes with them, because that's what I feel like Everett is as well. So I just sort of went from there and just sort of doodled, and what came out I really liked, and then I just kind of refined it in like okay, I have this really great idea for how they're gonna look. But when you see like character design, let me see if it's in this one. When you see people who do like character concept art professionally, they usually do go about it very different than I do. And that's why it's easier for, that's why it's hard for me to sort of go around and say like, oh, it took this many iterations, because to me, it's all sort of in one go. There's never like a finished product until the one I get to, versus like, I'm trying to find, where's O? There it is. O. And, okay. I think this one has stuff. Because you'll see... Nope. Yeah, okay, so you'll see, like... and this is really funny that it happened this way. But you'll see, like, oh my god, my words. You'll see an artist sort of, especially with digital art, sort of take a base that they like. So this is how they wanted the character's body to look. And then they'll draw on, like, a bunch of different eyes, or a bunch of different, nose hairs and stuff. Yeah. So it was like, yeah, there it is. So, like, Corey, this is my D&D character. So this is a very base design idea when I really wasn't sure how I wanted them to look. But you can sort of see here, there's a bunch of eye designs that I was trying out, face designs. And this is very much what, like, characters do. Now, if I'm being completely honest, you can tell that the middle one is the one I liked, which is the first one I drew, because you always draw the middle one first, and then I sort of forced myself to give other ideas, which I didn't like as much. I do like this one actually a lot, looking at these eyes are really nice. But I've been a person where, like, the first one is the one that I like a lot. But you can see it done with, like, the hair. I don't know. Yeah, different hairstyles that I was trying with that eye. Until, different ones, until settling on one that I liked. Oh, this one's fun. But I usually don't do that with characters, if I'm being honest. I usually don't go through so many iterations, especially for the comic. It usually is like, I get a good vibe originally, and then I just sort of refine it later.
It starts out as an experiment, and then it becomes more refined as you spend more time with it. So, like, what would normally be, like, iteration 1, iteration 2 kind of starts as, okay, let's start with this. Now let's add this to this. Ooh, I like this. Now let's add this. I didn't like that. Let's erase it. Then you add something different to it. So it's like, it grows.
Yeah, it's not
more
like...
so than, here's an iteration, here's an iteration.
Which is how the professionals do it. but
Yeah.
I don't
We never claimed
enjoy.
to be.
Well, yeah, but the whole thing is, as you can see, I've tried to make myself do that because that's like a thing that if you are professional, and I guess you kind of assume that being a professional, you know, you sort of know what you're doing, I guess a little bit, which is not necessarily the case, but just sort of that, like, that's the industry standard, right? That's what industry expects you to do, stuff like that. And when you look at like other like character concept artists, they all seem to do something along those lines. I just don't personally enjoy drawing that way. I always find it to be something where I'm forcing myself to like make full other iterations, and it's just like, if I don't like it, I'll draw a different one, you know? And does that necessarily mean that I make the best design I possibly could? I don't know. But I don't particularly enjoy the process of drawing like 8 different hairstyles just to 99% of the time find out I like the first one I drew anyway, because that was the idea I had, right? Like that was the and this is just me. I bet other comic artists might go through tons of different designs, and it definitely, I think, gets a lot more difficult when you're designing like iterations of the same character, in the sense of like, if I needed to design another Hoatzin outfit, might be a little more, you know, I remember Hoatzin's Ace Attorney outfit for the Ace Attorney AU was definitely a bit more of a struggle. Melano's color-wise as well. But overall, I don't really get full iterations of characters. They're sort of made and then refined. The first iterations are very similar to their ending thing. And, you know, as you draw a comic, because you are drawing so much and you're drawing characters over and over again, you'll shortcut them, you know, and you'll find shortcuts and you'll make changes because it just feels better now when you're drawing them, having to draw them over and over again. And that's why Melano and Hoatzin have had drift, because I haven't tried to stick to the model sheet, if that makes any sense. When you're on like an actual production, like an actual thing, you need to stick to the model sheet because you want consistency. You have a lot of artists, you know, you're drawing a lot of frames of something. You're trying to stick to the design that the characters have and keep it that way. But when you're drawing a comic and you're doing it for yourself and just for fun, as long as you're not suddenly changing your character like drastically where they're unrecognizable, I think that subtle changes that look better, you feel better about drawing, you know, just fit the character better, aren't a bad thing, and shouldn't be forced to be stopped, you know, because, like I said, you're doing it for yourself first. I'm very excited. A comic artist that I really like, her name is Star. Her comic is getting a print release, and the Kickstarter like just happened, and because I literally got in on the Kickstarter first day, my copy will be signed, and I'm very, very, very excited. And
That's so cool.
but it's one of those things where, because it is a webcomic, and you can see this with almost all webtoons and almost all of that are not like professionally published comics, the styles change. I wouldn't necessarily say drastically, but you can see the improvement in the artist, right? You go back to these like very early sort of cast-off pages, and it is a significant difference in style and confidence and just, you know, overall style in general from now. And that gives me a lot of confidence because that happens with Outcaste too. So, I think that when you're doing it for yourself, and you know, webcomics are given a lot more leeway, I think, in that sense. Don't be afraid to make changes on the fly sometimes, because if you're sitting down to make it perfect the first time, you're spending more time doing that than making your comic, I think. That's a lot of words to answer your question, Mason. But I hope it was useful and not too rambly. Uh, but character design and like color theory have always been something that has thankfully, you know, and privilegedly, I guess, in the art sense, come relatively natural to me. I have sort of watched videos on the things and tried to make conscious efforts sometimes, but most of it is just like passive absorption because I am a hobby artist and I'm not gonna try to kill myself doing it to make it follow everything. It's okay, Mason. It was a lot of words and it was a lot of tangents.
The gist of it is we're not professionals, so why do it professionally?
Basically.
Do it because vibe.
Do it amateurly as long as you're having fun. And I don't make solid iterations of characters. Like I said, I don't even know. Okay, I'm gonna look just because I want to know if it's in this document or not. So I am going to not show stuff for a second. Because I don't want to accidentally spoil. References. I think it's in there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely pastry puff, 100%. Getting it out just bare bones, it really helps the process because then you're getting the idea out there. It's on paper now, you can see it, and if you can see it, you can refine it. You can see what needs fine-tuning, what needs to be added, what needs to be edited. Honestly, that's one of the rules I've given myself because sometimes as a writer, I do get hung up on, oh, is this line good? Does this really capture what this character is feeling? And this is more so with fan fiction than with Outcast. Outcast is a little more straightforward. But sometimes with fan fiction, like I really gotta think, okay, how am I describing this scene? What's important that needs to be focused on? And that can get cumbersome, that can get distracting, because those pieces are important, don't get me wrong, but that's the connective tissue. They're not the bones of the story, but they're still important to have. So for a while, I'll just focus on the bare bones. What do I want the characters to say? What are the plot beats? What's going to happen? Get that out, then go back and add the little details like, oh, they were at the cafe. Oh, they ordered this. Then, so-and-so like swish the drink in their mouth before taking a swallow to stall for time or something like that. Ideas that didn't come in that moment, but eventually will show up the more you revisit your work. Oh, yeah, 100%. You were right on the money, Pastry Puff. What'd you find?
I'm just looking at all this stuff and it's funny. I'm trying to find the old.
Oh my goodness, a trip down memory lane.
It's more like I'm surprised that there's less here than I thought there was. Apparently I have some of the Aster sketch bits, but again, he kind of just looks the same. Is it in? Yeah. No, nothing really there, sadly. This is one of the early whoops. This is the first ever Aster sketch. But he basically turned out how this was. You can see this little like hair idea, whoops, here, that apparently I drew him with a ponytail once, but I gave that to Sidit instead.
I think because I might have turned to Ori and said we had too many ponytail boys.
That is a possibility. Look how short Sidit's ponytail was originally. Look at that. That's
Sidit
nuts.
had like a baby ponytail.
It was so small.
That's a ponytail-let. What the heck is that?
But basically the rest of him was the same.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
but
didn't
see,
change too much. Even the stripe and tail and fin placement
oh
is
yeah.
still accurate.
Aster's wings changed mainly because I got better at drawing wings and stuff. And so his colors kind of changed. But
He has 4 colors now instead of
yeah,
just
you can
3.
see how he had a ponytail here, but otherwise the hair is the same.
And then the hair went poof.
Yeah, he's the only one that seems to have sketches in here for whatever reason. Unless they're in... Nope, they're not. Yeah, not sure.
Tis a mystery.
Yeah, we have Ferrix. Again,
Oh,
I guess...
absolutely applies to drawing pastry puff. I feel like Ori would be able to weigh in more on that than I, but...
Alright, hold on. Oh yeah, 100%. Especially... I'll say especially with, like, traditional art, I find it a lot more easy to just be like, no, scribble it down and then, you know, erase it lightly and then refine it within there. I think that's just good practice because I feel like you can easily get hung up on, sort of making it perfect the first time. That's why, I think it's important to sort of have, whether it's, you know, allowing yourself those moments digitally or having a traditional art sketchbook or something, to allow yourself to sort of have those, like, this doesn't have to look good in here right now. When I took the one art class I took in college, we worked on a pad. It was called newsprint type of paper, and it was like really cheapy, you know, bad quality paper is the idea. It's like the paper they print a newspaper on, and so it's very thin and it's very just cheap and all this sort of stuff. And specifically, the professor was like, the reason that I make you buy this for the sketching is because it's supposed to make it so you're guilt-free, basically, by drawing quote-unquote bad on it. You know, that you don't have any qualms about, like, wasting the good stuff. Yeah, I always try to, like, take pictures of the sketches, like, in between, but because sometimes I draw something in, like, a sketch in my sketchbook, and I'm just like, oh, this is ugly as hell. I can't draw. I'm so bad. Today is not the day. And then I erase, you know, with the kneaded eraser, and then I go back in and I find the shapes again, and I was like, oh no. It was there. You just needed a minute. I mean, you really saw that with things like Follow. Follow is very like a sketch it out and just scribble all over the place, and only I can understand what I'm looking at. And then slowly refine his form. Okay. Like I'm trying to do now, but Hoatzin's face is not cooperating.
Pretend he saw another Limerana.
Yeah. It's more his mouth is just not doing what I want it to do. Because I want him to, like, oh, okay, no. I did want him to smile, but I think the O just fits it better.
Oh, he's making that ooh,
yeah.
face.
It's just the better. I wanted it to be a smile, but yeah. No, it has to be this.
That is top tier.
I am probably gonna zoom it in now. I did the other
If
ones.
each member of the main cast had a favorite video game, what would it be? Ooh, that's an interesting question, Pastry Puff. Let me think. This one's gonna take some thought because I've never thought about them playing a favorite video game given the time period we're in.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Hoatzin would be a life sim kind of player. I don't see him playing anything action oriented. I don't see him playing anything strategy based either.
Because if I'm being honest, I feel like Hoatzin plays Pokemon. Because it's like it is a little strategy based, but it's mostly in the sense of like memorizing what types are good against each other.
Okay,
right?
hear
And
me
then
out.
you're catching all
Hoatzin
the
would
stuff,
play-
you're doing research, like it
Hoatzin
feels
would
the
play
vibe.
new Pokemon games. I don't think he'd play any of the hardcore ones.
No, but it's very much the like you're literally supposed to be a Pokemon researcher. You know, like the way to be good at the game is specifically just to memorize the type chart. You know, that's a nerd thing, right? You know, like you get to catch all these cool new
But then
creatures and learn about them.
There's also Animal Crossing that literally has the
To me-
entire museum that has like
Ooh.
actual facts about the bugs you catch.
That's a good
and the
one
vi-
too. See, I
and
feel
the
like
artwork.
I feel
That's
like
the problem.
I feel like to me, Sinnet is more of an Animal Crossing guy than Hoatzin is. I feel like Hoatzin has just a lot more ambition, and Pokemon at least has something to drive you, versus like Animal Crossing is very much like chill, comfy, cozy life.
It's very chill, but hear me out on this one for Sinnet. Is that we constantly describe him as a like customer service type guy, like he has that smile that's kind of like, oh, I'm not comfortable right now, but I am smiling if it kills me, damn it. He's got to get that rage out somehow. I feel like he'd be playing GTA, not gonna lie.
GTA? Out of all of the games.
Maybe like just any kind of game that lets him blow off steam. I could see
I'm
it.
trying to think.
To
me, that's like a hack and slash sort of game, though.
You want it to be a hack and slash? Okay. It's gotta be a good one out there.
I feel like it just feels more like that's like getting the rage out. Versus GTA, there's a lot more like drugs and other like cop shit that I feel like it's more memey than I feel like releasey, if that makes sense.
Mimi, then releasey. Alright, we got our new t-shirt phrase, guy.
But yeah, Pastry Puff, I definitely see Hoatzin doing that.
Okay, no, I just... Alright, you gotta answer this question, though. Which character is the one playing Roller Coaster Tycoon and setting all of the rides in the park to the highest level to kill the customer?
Ferrix! Ferrix! Definitely. I can't decide if I think Melano would be more of like a Souls game guy or like a Zelda guy. I feel like he's Zelda. I feel like
Melano would not have the patience for a soul.
Yeah, that's very true.
Like, I feel like if he got sent back
but
to
I think
the beginning
he'd be
of a
good
level,
at
he
games,
would rage quit.
You know,
I feel like he'd be good, but like if
Souls
he
is
got
very
far
hard.
enough,
You need
he would
persistence.
lose and immediately quit.
So I feel like yeah, Melano gives me very Legend of Zelda vibes, especially the latest two with the open world and everything. But in general, I think he likes the idea of being the hero. He gets to fight things. He'd be, you know, good at fighting Ganon and all of this stuff. Yeah, that would be hilarious, Pastry Puff. All of them playing Overcooked. Honestly, really funny AU.
Okay, so kind of linked to that, Pastry Puff. I told Ori about a scenario where I was like, hey, what if the boys watched Link Click? What would their reactions be?
Yeah, that was the whole thing.
So we talked about who's the one crying on the couch, who's the one in total shock, who's the one lying flat on the floor just sobbing.
Yeah.
I think we actually
Overcooked would be hilarious because I could definitely see Cynic kind of like sitting there being really annoyed that Melano and Ferrex can't get along, like they're just throwing food at each other. It's like in Overcooked 2, they're just chucking it, or they're just pulling it all out of the stuff and making the floor covered in food. And I see Sidit just being really, really annoyed. Aster's over there basically completing the level by himself. Ignoring the other two. And then, yeah, Melano and Ferrex are just setting shit on fire and just using the Sidit's running around with the fire extinguisher.
Keep me on the floor. I want to be as far away from you guys as possible.
Yeah, and then yeah, Aster is the one that makes it so that they can progress the game. Silently just navigating, moving around. Sadly, that doesn't work at all levels. You can't still do it solely for every level. Some of them you are literally cordoned off from the sections. But yeah. They're also never 4-starring the whole thing or 3-starring the whole thing. They're getting the minimum amount of stars to move on.
I feel like the stereotypical answer for Aster would be cooking mama, but
I feel like he,
of course, but
I feel like he would not enjoy that though. I feel like it's too simple, and it would be frustrating because sometimes those things, the way you have to do it,
games where you care for other creatures.
Yeah.
Would he enjoy Nintendogs?
Yeah, that's not a bad one. Nintendogs is good.
Oh my god. Okay, no, Aster would have loved Webkins.
Yes.
He would have been all over that.
He would have been in the Webkins.
I am specifically thinking Kid Aster because the cooking in that game is very simple, but also like, put your pet to bed and take care of it, make sure it's happy. And it's like, he likes taking care of people.
I can also see him doing like Stardew Valley though.
I could see. Well, that does have a mechanic where you like give gifts in that game.
You brought up Stardew Valley.
Would be all over that.
I could definitely see. I could also see Sinnet enjoying Stardew Valley. The two of them like doing the co-op together of a Sinnet and Aster Stardew Valley co-op. Ferrex and Melano would not enjoy it.
This is a recent one, but Potion Permit, Sinnet would definitely be all over that.
Or there's the Alchemist one.
Oh yeah, that one too.
I can also see Hoatzin playing Ace
Hades.
Attorney.
I think it's Melano.
Melano plays Hades. Anything where he's like the cool hero protagonist, and it's a game where it's hard enough where he has to be skilled because he is, but not so hard that you need to be persistent about it. I think that works. That's another fun idea now, Pastry Puff. The three games, them all playing Overcooked, them all playing Stardew Valley, and them all playing Animal Crossing. Oh my, okay, this is
We'd have to design
Puff.
like little Animal Crossing avatars for them and put them in the Animal Crossing world.
Hold on, you refuse to elaborate, Mason? As they're playing League of Legends? I don't know. I can see Ferrex being a League guy.
Elaboration.
To me, Ferrex is the League guy. He would be so toxic, and he would be...
Ferrex would be so competitive.
He would be so competitive, he would be so toxic on the mic, it would be hilarious. But Pastry Puff, what have you done? Now I have to draw all the boys as little Overcooked avatars, little Animal Crossing dudes, and little Stardew Valley characters.
Guys, you gave Ori more stuff for the
so
Ko-fi.
much work.
How dare you? It's okay. We'll put it all on the Ko-fi.
He'll get there.
Mahahaha.
We already have all the AUs.
Well, luckily this is like a one-shot AU where it doesn't have to be like a story. Just here's a vibe. Enjoy the vibe.
Enjoy the vibe, indeed. I'm like really excited for business meeting tomorrow.
Oh, same.
We just get to do it.
stuff to talk about.
We're solidly in the, like, we get to plan stuff again stage, so we really get to
Yes.
do a
Oh,
lot of the
it's so
brainstorming
nice.
stuff, and it's really fun again.
We get
Versus,
to actually talk and plan.
yeah, vast majority of business meetings before have been like, all right, upload, good, bye.
Yep. Those have literally been the
Yeah,
last 3
oh,
months of business meetings.
Minecraft. Oh,
Oh,
that would be
Minecraft.
so good too. Oh my god.
All right, who's
Ugh.
playing Roblox?
I have zero experience with Roblox, and the stuff I know about it, I'm not like, ooh, yay, so I couldn't subject them. Same with, like, Gacha Life. It's like, it's just like, it's not in my time, right? So it's just like, I have zero experience with those games that I just, and definitely the sides that you see on the internet can be very cringe. So I'm just like, I'll leave that to those people. They can have it.
That is your corner.
I'm not shaming you for doing it at all. It's a games that I have never ever played and never watched Let's Plays of, because they're like, okay, and that's the difference. All of the multiplayer games I've ever played have not had to be multiplayer, right? Like Minecraft you can play on your own, but it's really, really fun multiplayer with friends. Phasmophobia, that would be Hoatzin would be all the lights on in his room, like the speakers instead of headphones. He would be horrified every second. Melano and Ferrex would go around trying to scare everybody else in the midst of it, not really playing the game.
I feel like Sinnett would be, doing his best, but then as soon as a jump scare comes on, he's just like, ah!
Yeah. I could see
Aster would do that little like type jump.
See, I can see Aster. You. The only reason you know he's scared is because they have like the heart monitor on and his eyes like widen slightly.
Oh,
He's just like, oh, and then he moves on.
Okay, Ori, do you remember when I sent you that clip of Sayu playing what was it? Critical Overtime, Critical Job, Critical something?
I don't know, maybe. Describe what happened in it more.
I gotta check the pin. What were they playing? Lethal Company. Critical.
Oh, okay, yes,
wow,
I know that
so
one.
Far off.
I'm like thinking so this is like an office game, like they're in an office, and I'm like, what?
They were playing Lethal Company.
Critical Overtime. I'm sorry. No, you can't. Critical Overtime. What's so good about that, Mars, though? What's so good about that is the fact that those are totally words that would have come up in the fucking thesaurus if you put lethal in the thesaurus and company in the thesaurus. You would have gotten critical overtime.
Damn name.
I just can't. I can't because then when you actually say the fucking words out loud, they bring such different games to mind, right? Lethal Company. Okay, if we're using the office word of company, you're in like a fucking like assassin for hire type job. Like, this is dangerous. Critical overtime is I'm a stressed, about to fucking blackout office worker with too many deadlines in just a normal average everyday job.
My tears are making me laugh too hard.
I can't do this one. Oh my god. Clip that, right, ship now. That. I'm dying. Oh my god. Oh. Critical overtime. Oh god. My stomach hurts.
Say.
100% pastry puff Ferrex would do that.
100. Amazing.
Okay, I'm sorry, Mason. Melano is the person. I gotta tell this story. So because this is what Melano would do, but to the umpteenth degree. I never really played Five Nights at Freddy's, but I like was watching a bunch of people let's play it at the beginning when it like first came out. I watched like Hank Green let's play it, Dan and Phil let's play it. You know, obviously I ended up watching Markiplier let's play it because, you know, they were like the only people. He was the only one who kept finishing it because he's the king of Five Nights at Freddy's. But point is that when I first started watching Five Nights at Freddy's Let's Plays, whenever they, like, the jump scare happened, I would literally, without, like, this is not exaggeration, I would smack, I watched it on, like, the original iPad in my bed. I would smack the iPad. This is, like, I'm not joking, I'm not exaggerating. If I used, like, a fist and had a ring, I would have cracked my iPad. I would every time just fucking smack the iPad. Because I wouldn't scream, because it's, like, I should have been in bed, like, asleep. But I would smack the iPad. I could totally see Melano is playing the game for the first time, and he would punch his computer screen, and he would break his computer screen, and you would just hear from stream and be like,
crunch.
So guys, I'm gonna need a minute. I broke my monitor.
And we gotta figure this out now.
And we're gonna have to put some plexiglass in between me and my screen.
I remember the tangent I was about to go on before Lethal Company.
Oh, it's too good.
Okay. So, the Sayu clip I sent Ori, basically, Sayu was playing Lethal Company, and he's freaking out. And the freaking scream he does is... I don't know if that was genuine or exaggerated. Whatever it was fucking hilarious. So my big question is, who's doing the EBBB scream? And I will put that short in chat, so you chat Discord if you guys want to check out what I'm talking about. All I can say is I watch this video whenever I'm having a bad day, and it instantly makes me like burst out laughing.
To me, that's another Ferrix one.
That feels right.
To me, if honestly, if Sayu had to voice one of the Outcast characters, it would be Ferrix. Like, he's got all the vibes.
He does.
He's got it all. And that's really okay, back the fuck up. That really made me think, though, now that we have all these extra characters, we're gonna have to get more voice people for the dub.
Oh, who should we outsource to?
We'll have to think about that. Because it will depend on if the character is reoccurring or not.
That is true.
I know
that video
at least...
is in the couch if anyone wants to see it. It's very short, and it's very funny.
I think the character I designed today, I know who we can have do it.
Ooh.
And it's someone we know in real life. But the rest of them, well, we do have a woman character, so it could be one of us.
Ooh. That's very true, and will actually sound like a woman.
Yeah, exactly. A bunch of Yell Germans in Lethal Company. Yeah, they yell. A bunch of Germans yell in Lethal Company.
Oh,
See,
okay.
That's
a
one
bunch
of the.
Yell Germans.
I mean, that's what they are. They're Yell Germans while they're yelling, you know.
That does make sense.
It's like horror games are fun, but I feel like
only
I
good
could
company.
not. I still feel like I couldn't do it. If I'm being completely honest, I get so Dylan tried to have me play the game Prey. Okay.
Oh no.
And immediately, the second that one of those fucking things jumped out, I spazzed so fucking hard. There is no way I would be able to successfully get through the game, right? Like, in any way. And you know, and everyone's like, oh, that's the funny part, right? I feel like it's only funny to a point. If you're not getting... If it's literally... every first time and you're barely getting through the game because not even getting through the game because you just fucking spaz every time.
Well, at that point, I believe they call it torture.
Exactly. For everybody.
Hiya, Nicole.
Nicole, hello.
Welcome.
Oh, Nicole. Oh, I have to show you because you didn't see. What am I doing? Character.
Good night, Mason.
Good night, Mason.
Thanks for asking questions tonight. Hope it was helpful. Always good talking to you.
This one? Oh. Okay. Beautiful.
Well, you missed the hot new horror game out on the market, Critical Overtime.
Honestly, so good.
Mars had a bit of a brain fart and didn't know what she was saying anymore. Well, no, she knew what she was saying, but she picked the wrong damn word.
Yeah, really funny. But
still tangentially related.
So Nicole, on the topic of what we were doing today, this is the first character sheet Melano ever had from 2021. Then we have this was the second character sheet Melano ever had, and he was a paper doll, so he was just a body underneath the clothes, so I could draw new clothes on him. And he was from 2022, and I finished today the new one. Oh, it's so good. Yes, I'm showing it off again to anybody else in chat who didn't see it because it's so good. Look at it. I'm so happy. He's so good. And all of his pieces come off. You can take, where is it? You can take his hair on and off if I want to draw new hair. You can take his vest off. You can take his shirt off. You can take his shorts off. You can give him no tail, no claws, and you can give him human feet instead. Technically, the shirt and stuff doesn't work as well without the tail, but, you know, c'est la vie.
It still works.
It works enough for the purposes that I want.
It just works.
Yeah, right? So everyone will have, like, their colored stripe. And then this is a pattern I drew a long time ago, but I like using it. And it's just nice in the background. And then, yeah, we have his color palette as little scales, because fun. And all those little things. I might shade these in the end. I'm not sure. I kind of wanted to, but I just didn't have the time if I wanted to actually finish this today. Which I did.
I have to ask, Ori, are the new mouth colors included on this reference?
Yes, these 4 colors are the teeth.
It's all in one place now.
It's all in one place now. You know, it's fully updated. You have his little button color that wasn't a part of it before.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, so you have hair, skin, scales, eye, button, vest, shirt, pants, mouth.
All right, time to update my palettes.
Yeah, exactly. So the new and improved, it's so good. The white outlines are on a different layer, so I can turn off the outline. They're not on different layers of the pieces, it's all just one outline. I was gonna make it different of the pieces, but I thought, the white outline is more for like the presentation of the final thing, versus me actually utilizing him as like an undressable reference or a paper doll. So I didn't end up doing that because it was more work. It was just more annoying. Bald Melano is wild, I gotta say. It's really wild.
Bald Melano is a trip.
It's a wild time. But I love all his his scars are on a different layer. Whoops. So I can turn those off if like human Melano wouldn't have the scars. Human Melano for the Band-Aid, you would totally have like a tattoo or something though. And he has piercings.
100%.
But yeah, so very fun. But I think I do want to shade these in the end just because I don't want it all to be flat. I was debating shading this one, but I like the main piece just lightly, but I didn't do it mostly because I did make him paper doll. I will say this look is a vibe. I will say.
It really is.
But I didn't make him because I made him a paper doll. Doing shadows just sort of adds another layer to everything, and I would have to do every different layer. So I was like, we ain't doing that. He'll be flat for here, and then ideally I would shade these. But there it is. Perfect. He's done. And this is basically what all the rest of them are gonna look like. We might put some text here about some stuff, but that's it. And so now we're on to Hoatzin's, and this is what we're at so far. We have the pose, and we have his expressions, which I basically finished.
Spent stream getting those expressions down.
That's what we do. I think that is the smart stream move, because one, I could draw Hoatzin's face and bust. I mean, all of the characters' face and bust very, very, very easily and quickly. Versus doing like the pose and stuff, I will say, bit of a struggle.
More time to figure out.
Definitely more brain power going on, and because it's stream, it's tough.
Oh, we had to include the classic Hoatzin scream.
Oh yeah, I mean, what is a Hoatzin without a frightened one? Okay.
It's just not Hoatzin.
Because I have finished this, do we want to see the fun sketches for entry 6? Entry 6, page 1.
This is your reward for coming to stream, guys. Oh, you VOD watchers out there?
Yeah, VOD watchers, this is the stuff you get.
This is what you come for.
Yeah, ooh. So we have, book again. It's been a while since a book opening. Because it's an entry. A little Hoatzin. You look up. God, this panel. I'm sorry, Mars. But damn.
It could be worse.
Yeah, they're not as
wing,
crossed
so
over
it's all black.
interacting. So it's easier. And then we have these two.
There's also boxes in the way, so that's not bad either.
And there we go. And that's all I have so far. And technically, it means I have enough drawn for today, because I didn't do any today. I did them all yesterday.
Ori's on it.
Yes.
Look at her go.
We gotta be on top of it. Even though the hiatus is gonna happen, it's mainly just to get backlogs, so...
You gotta do stuff during hiatus.
Oh yeah. Hiatus is not a break for us. It's a way to get backlog back. No joke. No exaggeration. It's been literally calculated to get the backlog again. Because whoo boy.
Boy, indeed.
I missed that backlog. But I do need to get some of the Band AU pages done so that we can post those alongside the words. The Ace Attorney AU for everybody else. So, lots of stuff happening. But
So much.
we have off on Monday, and I'm very excited.
You do.
You don't have off Monday?
No.
It's Memorial Day.
Okay, I don't work in a school anymore.
I don't work in a school. That's like one of the 7 mandatory, like, U.S. holidays.
Oh, you weren't feeling well, Nicole? I hope you feel better. Okay,
Damn, second playthrough? Privileged.
I read that as second playthrough of TikTok and I got really
I know! Me too, though!
You read this? Okay, I feel better now.
TikTok as well. Yeah, it's too close. It's too close. It has all of the letters. It's just missing 2 letters. It's too
I got
close.
so confused. I was like, how do you do a second playthrough of TikTok? Oh no, wait, that's Tears of the Kingdom. I'm dumb.
No, that one always got me. Like when it was coming out, when it was everything. I was like, what? Oh, it's like
I'm
Takt?
like, what's K?
Yeah, I'm like Takt. I like when you have TikToked in the past.
TikTok Kingdom, exactly, Nicole, exactly.
Yes.
See, whereas with Breath of the Wild, Botwa,
Batwa. Batwa.
Botwa.
Batwa.
See, I'm definitely not gonna confuse that for TikTok.
Yeah. That one's a lot more straightforward. Hoatzin and his high-waisted pants.
Mood, Hoatzin, mood.
Indeed. I think I'm gonna work on Band-Aid you actually for the last half hour.
Oh, that'll be very fun.
Because it's just coloring, and I need to get it done. God, guys. I suddenly became very busy with all the stuff I have to do this month. I have an art trade that I still have to do, Nicole. I haven't forgotten. I'm just... it's on the list. I have 2 commissions now, Jesus. And...
Oh, damn.
Yeah, 2 commissions now, and a thing for Dichotomy Games, and the frickin' zine, and then it's a lot. It's a lot. We busy.
We busy, we going, we Gucci, we gangin'.
I won't say the other one.
Please don't.
This one. Yes, he's coming up. He's in the list. He's in the list. I'm sorry it's taken so long. Honestly, my biggest priority was finishing entry 5, page 11, so that we could do the hiatus.
Oh my god, I have so much stuff in my spam folder.
I have too many email addresses. I ignore most of them.
Hey.
What about... I asked Nicole to do a secret little thing for me that you guys will find out about eventually. And as a trade, instead of currency, Nicole was just like, hey, draw me Beanix. And it's on the list. But I'm sad I haven't gotten to it yet.
Don't feel too bad, Ori.
Yeah.
I owe you a birthday present.
I appreciate the patience, Nicole.
That's
You
the
I
life
accept,
of
though. You do a bunch of other shit for me. Okay, Mars, I'm gonna tell you this now. Okay. So I actually pre-ordered something matching for us. So it is a present for you, but it's pre-ordered and it is not guaranteed to even ship by Christmas. So I don't know which gift it's gonna be, but it'll be a gift for you for one of the gift-giving days. But I don't know which one yet. Dylan thought it was super cool though. I think you'll love it. I'm very excited. I saw it and I had to get them. I was like, all right, one for me, one for Mars. This is too perfect of a thing.
Okay, now I'm curious.
It's really good. I'm just definitely sad that it...
I know I can't find out what it is, but now I'm like dying to know.
I'm just sad that it's like, yeah, not even guaranteed to ship for Christmas. And it's like, oh god. Okay, well, I'm committed because this is too epic, but... Whew. Yeah,
It
secret
be
art
like that
trade.
sometimes.
I will certainly have it ready, Nicole, before the art trade thing comes up. That I can guarantee. But I have finished all of the comic panels for before the hiatus, except the hiatus announcement one, which will be dealt with tomorrow.
All in due time. All
Indeed.
in due time. That's just how we roll.
Oh god.
Oh God.
Yeah, I just realized that I don't have the next comic dub ready either. Oh.
Oh no. Yeah, I think we gotta record some more lines.
We don't yet, but it is on the list of things. Basically, the next time that we have to cancel D&D, and it's not for one of us, is gonna be like line records.
Like, this is line night. Woo!
Exactly. The Nobleman's Guide to Scandal and Shipwreck. I mean, it sounds very fun, Pastry Puff.
Oh,
Is it about pirates?
that sounds interesting. Fiction, non-fiction? What are we talking about?
'Cause it feels like it could be about Steed.
God, it really does. I'm so mad that we're not getting any more Our Flag Means Death.
Yeah, I try not to think about it.
I think about it constantly, what they took from us.
They take a lot from us.
They take too much from us. We won't let them take Good Omens.
No, please. Not after how it ended.
Quite literally, hell hath fury if they take Good Omens.
Not after how season 2 fucking ended. I think I would die.
I need season 3 to heal me. Please.
Historical fiction.
Ooh.
Like a 19-year-old nobleman getting involved with pirates. Yeah, it feels Steed-y.
It does have essence of Steed.
But very fun. I mean, you know we like pirates.
That we do.
Ooh. Well, you know, everybody. Sometimes you just have it. I've been recently watching a series by this YouTube Shorts guy, probably a TikToker. I don't know what to call them because half of them are probably from TikTok, but I never TikTok, so I only see them on YouTube Shorts. But his whole thing is basically doing little skits, and it's like portraying either like a world that was built for people with ADHD or what it feels like watching neurotypical people from an ADHD person's lens looks like.
I think I know the one you're
And
talking
they're
about.
really, he's like bald with like a great beard and mustache, lots of freckles.
Yep.
Yeah, and
think I
it's
know 'em.
they're like really funny, and one of them is like is the ADHD person is talking to a neurotypical person. And they like cut back and forth, right? And it's like, oh, the glass of water that the neurotypical person has one sip left. They sip it. They put it down. You cut to the ADHD person. You cut back to the neurotypical person. They're taking another sip out of a now full glass of water. They're like, what? Your glass is just empty. It's like, yeah. Reaches behind his head, pulls out like a hard-boiled egg and starts eating the egg. Like, what is that? Oh, it's just an egg. It's lunchtime. What do you mean? The glass is now full of eggs. Taken. It's like, what? Where are these eggs coming from? I just found that one hilarious. He just does them very funny.
That's a good one. I
That
gotta
one,
say.
yeah, that one's funny.
Tis peak, my lord.
Because I think whether or not you relate to the ADHD part of it, I think the, like, how he sets things up is, like, this is a video game, you know, and how it, like, works visually with, like, obviously it not actually being a video game in real life, you know, having to, like, set it up with just the stuff in your house, you know, and all this sort of stuff. You
Even just
relate?
connecting to the humor.
You relate for people pulling eggs out from behind their ears. No, I know that's not what's actually happening, but it is very funny. I watch like a fair amount of like this is how X type of like neurodivergent people do things and whatever. And I just find them very fascinating. But I don't think I'm any of them. You always relate sometimes, but I don't think enough. But it's more just like, this is really interesting to learn about and like see. I always like those like I also watch like a lot of like people like parents, like especially like the gentle parenting people, like talk about like having children. I don't want children. I don't want to really care for children in any way. Every time my dog comes over, that just like increases exponentially how much I do not want children.
Like that's already aversion.
Yeah, and she's really not that bad, you know. She's just pooping, and you can't get her to poop outside, and you know it cleans up easy. But I'm already really frustrated with that. Could not, never, thank you. But it's just very interesting to be like those ones where it's like things my toddler said to me today, and it's just like to hear like how kids talk, right? You could say it's like kind of like a research thing, but it's more just like a this is interesting to see how other people perceive the world.
How the other half lives,
yeah, not even the other half, but just like my experience will not be like anybody else's ever. Like that's just how being a human works. I am me, and nobody else is like me, and I am not like anybody else. So all of these skits and like, you know, lines and sections and stuff that are like, yeah, things my child got mad at me today, or like I love the ones with the dogs and they're like reasons my husky got mad at me today, or reason like reasons Abby cried today, and she's like what's the long-nosed dog with the let me do it for you, a borzoi, and it's like, yeah, reasons. I did not know that. It's a borzoi, and it's just like reasons Abby cried this week, you know, and she just always looks sad, but it's like things like that. It's just very interesting to be like, how you perceive things and how other people perceive things. Ooh, an excerpt. We also have Mason's watermelon story that I haven't read yet.
Where did that go?
I think it's probably... I don't know where Mason put it. In refrigerator door? No.
Check. Nope.
I don't know where Mason put it.
Maybe not yet.
Maybe.
Maybe we wait in suspense a little bit more.
Because I don't see it in any of the places I would expect it to be. And I don't have any other things. Mars and I have like I don't know if it's pirates specifically, but it's like boats and sailing books to read. It's Mars, I'm doing that.
Sailing, maritime.
The last week in June, I'm going to North Carolina. And that book and your other 2 books or whatever you gave to me, those are all coming. They'll be read, man.
Nice.
That's my read time. The 2 options are read or video games.
Well, you still also have
Nicole. Yeah. Usually I do both, though.
That's perfect.
It's 12 hours one way.
The Saibikui Bisco book before I move on to Deep Waters.
Well, you have a month.
I shall do a chapter a day.
And then you will be fine.
I gotta say, the first Saibikui Bisco book, I got through that so easily. And I think that's because I had seen the anime. So
probably, yeah.
This is how I envision the scenes. I know what's coming up.
You didn't have to absorb it as much.
Yeah, whereas the second book is definitely taking me longer. And of course, my brain is like, no, the day must be perfect for you to read this. Like, you can't read this if you also have this going on for some reason. That's bad. I'm like, but why? My brain is like, it is. I'm like, oh, you're right.
Just how it works. Thankfully, I don't have that, but usually I'm like, but there's other things to do.
Yeah.
But there's other things to do.
And sometimes those other things are like, ooh, script, ooh, game. ooh, scroll endlessly for hours.
Well, it's like, ooh,
Send fan art, don't worry.
yeah, really. I love. We can both tell. So Mars and I send each other a lot of like Instagram posts to each other on Instagram, and it's always really funny because you can tell like one of us had a break or one of us like got home or like sat on the toilet or something. When suddenly you get like 8 of them, and it's just like, ah,
Like,
yes,
back to
this
back.
was the Instagram time, and the harvest was good. because like I
There's
watch it,
always
it'll
like
be
a
like
gap
5
between.
messages from Mars, and then and then I'll be like sitting on Instagram and like send you 5 things. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, like I don't feel guilty.
But then it's like 5 in the evening. It's like, laugh, heart, like,
Yeah,
reply.
exactly.
Like,
You're like,
this
go
is
on.
Instagram time.
Like, oh, this is catch up with all the stuff I've gotten. So
It's like
after
reading a newsletter.
yeah, basically. After I got hacked on Discord, Dylan like refuses to open any links from my account unless he knows 100% that they're like good. So instead of trying to like send him things to watch, I just put them in like my own Discord channel server to like show him later. And then I show them to him in person. It's not that many things, but it is definitely like every once in a while I have like
Right,
one.
for peace of mind, it's a small compromise.
Yeah, it works. And then I remember, so it works out.
Hey.
Why did I make Hoatzin's sweater Argyle? Because he's an Argyle boy, but I don't
is.
want him. I wish he wasn't. Because pain.
He's a sweater vest boy, but he's also an Argyle boy.
But pain. Because
Also pain.
having to draw Argyle.
It's so rough.
I'll be very happy for after Hoatzin and Melano, the rest of the characters will be getting their like basically first ever reference sheets. So I'll be very happy for that. They need them. They need some love. And I'm so happy with how this one turned out. Honestly, probably the last reference sheets I will ever make for these boys. Just because, one, if I'm being honest, I don't expect my art to change that much more. But two, they're just really good and they're fully functional. And I don't think I could spend the time to do it again.
I was like, why fix what isn't?
This is how I always envisioned them. Right? If that makes sense. This is what I wanted all the other ones to be. And I'm at like an art level now where and then they're not perfect. Like there's definitely parts of the Melano one that I'm like, but it is. I also know that there's parts in the comic where it's like, yep, nope, you just gotta move on and not.
Get power through. Maybe
it'll never be perfect.
Maybe not.
You'll never have a perfect one. And you know, this one has all the bits that matter, have all the pieces. I'm happy with it. It's clean, it's nice, it's neat. I actually used like body reference and everything. So it'll be the last one. The pressure's on. But it's basically how I always wanted to draw reference sheets, but just was never really able to manage. And so it's been a good push.
I would definitely say the improvement shows.
Oh yeah.
You can see the growth.
And you know, I'll probably in another 3 years, 2 years, be, you know, even better. But
well, I would say by then our boys will probably have some new outfits.
that is very true.
So they'll need
I
an
expect.
updated sheet.
Well, they won't get a whole new updated sheet. He'll probably
That's
just
why
get a new
you
outfit.
made paper dolls.
Exactly. See, 100%. Because I know we're
Easily
AU girlies. I know we're outfit
interchangeable.
change girlies. I know we're all of that sort of. We're hair style change girlies.
We our hairstyle helps tell the story of character growth, girlies.
So, they needed to be paper dolls, so I never had to draw them all again. Because it was like it's a lot of work, you know? Like that was was basically my entire day. Was doing that. So,
That's a lot of work for a single day.
yeah. I didn't do much of anything else. And I got home late today. No, I didn't edit videos today.
Why'd you get home late? What happened?
It was just the crew just didn't start as soon as I would have liked them to, and they thus didn't finish until later, and I was a little further from home traffic-wise. Okay. Also, I'm gonna preface this.
Nice pastry.
Yeah, all the crossover I use. My definition of late is not home early from work. I'm so privileged. Don't tell Dylan I said this. He would literally strangle me.
Guess what, Ori? You know how you and Dylan have both had instances with the GPS leading you in frickin' circles?
Oh, yeah?
I had mine today.
Oh, no.
It could not find the highway for the life of it, and I don't know why.
Yep. Did I tell you about my recent GPS mishap?
I don't think so.
Okay,
Is it
so
story time?
So brief story time. Basically, I was driving home from work, and the way my work works is that I could be in basically any location within a certain area, but that means I'm rarely, not never, but rarely at a same location twice in a row. And I'm definitely not in the same location enough to know how to get there or drive home, because I don't always drive directly home from that location, from home to that location. You know, I might be driving to somewhere else first or somewhere in between, whatever. So I might have shown up to the same location, but I might have been in a different place first. Point is, there's no way of me knowing how to go home without the GPS, okay? It's very important knowledge. The GPS is very important to me. I'm like on the phone with my mom, because I always call her when I'm like driving home. That's like our chat time. And we're like talking and whatever, and I'm like on the highway, and I briefly look over at the GPS, and it tells me like to get over to take this exit. And I'm like, the way that the area that I drive in works, there's a lot of confusing road shit going on, okay? Not knowing, you're in the leftmost lane, but you're making a right turn. Like nobody understands, okay? It's a lot.
Left at this road, but they mean go freaking straight.
Oh, no. I literally today was on a road where I had to make a full right turn, but the GPS wanted to be in the leftmost lane. Now this is correct, because the only thing you can do in this traffic pattern is turn right, and there's a righter right than the normal 90-degree right. There's like the acute right? And
oh, like the double backs on itself.
Yeah,
right,
so you needed to be a left lane to make this right turn, but it just felt wrong to be all the way left in order to make this right.
That's where I start praying other people are in front of me so I can monkey you and follow what they do.
But so I briefly glance at the GPS, and in my brief glance of me trying to figure out exactly which exit it's trying to get me to take, if it's the one right here, or if it's the one a mile down the road, or, you know, where am I trying to go, it suddenly changes, because now it thinks that instead of being on the actual highway, I'm on the service road. and it's taking me
Oh.
literally to
Uh-oh.
and the directions now are, instead of take the exit that I'm pretty sure it just told me to take, that I'm trying to grasp in my brain where it's going, because usually you don't take an exit and then you're just on the exit. You have to take an exit and you have to make sure you're in the correct lane of the multi-laned exit in order to take another exit like immediately after. So it matters if I'm in the rightmost lane or the leftmost, or the middle lane or the second lane. It matters, because if you're not in the right one, you miss your exit. And traffic's a bitch. But so I'm like trying to remember, like, where am I going? How do I get home? Like, oh god, as it is like, oh, you're on the other way? Well, you're gonna come across the highway and go back the way you came. And it's like, well, I can't do that. So I need to hope that it'll that I take the exit that I'm trying to remember. And we'll update in time before I make a mistake. And thankfully, I was pretty sure that I had driven that way home relatively recently. So I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure that this is the exit it took me last time to go home. So I'm gonna take that one. And it seemed like it ended up being right, but it finally put me back on the right place in the road. But I was like, oh god, GPS. And you can't like reset it, you can't like do anything.
No. You're stuck. You're committed.
It was so bad.
Ugh.
But I made it home. Everything was okay.
Ori, did you ever make
Did
it
I
out?
ever make it out? Yes, I did make it out. No, I'm streaming from my car. On my computer from my car.
Yes. She's been drawing and driving in circles all night, you guys. Now that's true talent.
I taped the wheel down. Like when you tape your thing in Pokemon. So to hatch eggs. Yeah.
Oh, I've done that. I've literally just abandoned my DS and gone to do something else about that.
Oh
So
yeah, when the
that's how I
subway.
broke the Joy-Con.
See, okay, that's what I was afraid of. So okay. I don't remember. Was it X and Y had the battle subway? Or was it black and white? It must have been black and white. Black and white had the battle subway. And then so you could you could hatch your eggs, because it would literally rotate the room around you as you were walking. So you just had to hold the button in one direction. You never had to turn the button. And now the 3DS had already come out, but I had heard of people breaking their Joy-Cons doing this, and so I specifically didn't want to use the little pad on the 3DS, and so I was using my regular DS to hatch all these eggs. And I had taped down the buttons, the B button for running and the side button for moving. And then I heard somebody broke their D-pad by doing that, and so I stopped doing it. But I was like, oh god, please don't break DS. I love you. And it didn't break, but I was like, oh god,
Well,
how are you
that's
people
good.
breaking all this shit? I gotta tell you, the amount of people I saw,
It is surprisingly easier than you would expect.
knock on
Mine
wood,
broke because I was playing Smash Brothers too much. Like when Smash Bros 3DS came out and it was compatible with the Wii U version. My group and I were playing that a lot. And of course, I was connecting via my 3DS. So my play style is smash the buttons and pray something connects. So you can
Yeah, black
imagine
and white
I'm
is super.
slamming on that circle pad and like I'm trying to do the dash maneuver by doing the quick tap 2 times, but you gotta like move the circle pad 2 times in the direction you want really quickly. I just can't pull off this maneuver, so I'm struggling, I'm getting more frustrated, and all of a sudden the freaking pad just
It
like
was very
pops
slippery.
off,
Oh no.
and it was just like,
I was so afraid of
Uh-oh.
breaking mine. I definitely did not game as much as the rest of like my friend group, so I had heard all about the people breaking their circle pad, and I was just like horrified. I was so scared. It was like I would make sure to like switch off between the D-pad and the circle pad if I could. Like I would like make sure to like be gentle, and so I was horrified, man. I did not want to break my circle pad. And it's still good. All of my electronics are intact and working order. My circle pad, my D-pads, my buttons. But man, was I scared. No. They were very slippery. I think it was because they had to be kind of flat to fit in the DS, you know? That's why they were like indented. Like their sitting place was like inset. But I just wish that the D-pad wasn't so stiff on the 3DSs. They like the circle pad, and then the D-pad was just stiff as hell. Like you clicked that thing in.
Focused on the circle pad.
Because at least with the regular DS, you could rock the D-pad, you know, but you cannot rock the D-pad on the 3DS.
With the 3D.
No, you cannot. It was definitely like, you click up, you click down, you click side, you click side.
It did have a satisfying click.
Oh, it did,
Tactile click.
What I love is I have a fancy Joy-Con. That's a Legend of Zelda Joy-Con. That's a D-pad. It doesn't have any Bluetooth capabilities, so it can only work attached to the Switch. But it's still really cool. And it feels nice because honestly, sometimes you want a D-pad, man. Those Joy-Cons sometimes it's like, oh, the inputs, please let me have. I just wish, okay. I wish that the holes were shaped, if that makes sense. Let me make sure I'm not speaking out of school. Joy-Con. Let me remind myself.
A refresher.
Yeah, they're not. Okay, so you know how the fucking nunchuck from the Wii has a hexagonal hole that the stick sits in, so you can click it into place? You know what I'm saying? The hole that the stick itself sits in has points, so you can hit left, you can hit diagonal north, you can hit north, you know, you can hit them. And you felt something when you like roll it around because it's hitting all those corners. The Joy-Cons and the circle pads are round holes, so you can't hit a point as tactilely accurately. You don't slide into due north, due northwest, due east, due, you know, you don't slide into it. You're like just fumbling about and nothing lands. Did I make any sense?
I think so, because I have used this controller, so I know what you're talking about. I could kind of envision it. I'm just not sure if I've paid enough attention to that to really notice.
Yeah, the Wii U pad has the same problem. It's just
yeah.
the nunchuck. Yeah, the hole in the nunchuck was an octagon. Yeah, exactly. And so it felt good because you could hit it. And you would slide into the right place. And you could hold it at not the right place and it would do what you wanted. But that was like a conscious effort you had to do. Oh yeah, it's even on the controllers though. Make sure this is not going to be a thing. It's not. Okay. Open image in new tab, please. Thank you. Yeah, see how the holes for the sticks are octagonal? So when you hit it, it feels good that you hit north, that you hit the sides. So it is like a better D-pad. But when the hole is circular, it's just you're fumbling about in the vast void of nowhere land. You know,
it's like no man's land.
It's literally no man's land.
But
see, this is the Wii, like this is the Wii control, like this is the Wii controller? I think this is the Wii Xbox controller. But like that feels good. Why did they take that away? Very upset. The Wii U should have had it. The Wii U pad should have had it. The Joy-Con should have had it. This was good design. I don't know.
The Switch definitely doesn't have it. I'm looking at mine now.
No, I looked it up. Yeah, it's circular. And that was the problem with the circle pad. I think the other issue with the circle pad had like too much spring in it. Right? You had to like fight it a little bit. You know, you don't fight the Joy-Cons to move them, but that
Yeah.
circle pad had, like,
It always
tension.
wanted to pop back into
Yeah, it had
place.
tension in it, you know?
And then when that thing started drifting, oh, forget about it. You were screwed.
See, and that's another fear. Horrified. Yeah, the Wii U game controllers don't have it. That... But, okay, all Wii level stuff, all Wii level controllers have the octagon. Everything else doesn't seem to have the octagon. I know that at least one of the sticks on the GameCube has the octagon, but it looks like after the Wii, anything after the Wii doesn't have the octagon anymore. Yeah, that is why it was slippery. Because it
why they did
pulled
away
it back.
with it.
I'm so upset. So sad.
How dare they?
It was so good. Like, I don't know why. I can't imagine it's a hard shape to, like, extrude plastic into. You know, like, you just cut a octagon hole. It's not like they have tiny corners, you know? I can't like, why did you take it away?
Give me back my octagon.
Yeah, both the GameCube controllers, both sticks have the fucking octagon. Very sad, very upset. Very disappointing. Just fumbling around in space. The void. The joystick void.
Joystick void. There we go. We have an official term coined.
Yes, it is better, Nicole, that if they are gonna break, you can replace the Joy-Cons on the Switch versus you can't replace...
I have literally bought 2 pairs of Joy-Cons. So I have the original that came with my Switch, and then I have a replacement version. Because what ended up happening to me, I had controllers that drifted. You know, I'd been using them for a while, and they started drifting. And that's annoying. It's not great when you're playing games, because you're constantly fighting your freaking controller. And I found out that if you sent it to the Nintendo site, they do the repair, at least at the time I did. I don't know if this is still the case. They did the repair pro bono. So I was like, cool, great. Sent off my controllers, and then I realized, wait, shit, I can't play my game without controllers. So the new plan is whenever a pair starts to drift, those get sent in and the backup pair gets brought out. If those start to drift, then that pair gets sent in and the originals get brought out.
I have 3 pairs. I think I have 3 pairs of Joy-Cons. And I can't remember if I have 3 or 4 pairs, actually. I know I have red and blue, and then I have pink and green. And then I have a set of grays where I made one white. And I think that's all the colors I have. I don't think I have any other ones. Yeah, that is true, Nicole. I think the goal was to have 4 sets, but I only have 3 sets, I think. The reason to have 4 sets was it's easier to play 4-player co-op games if you actually have the 2 and the, like, combiner thing. The controller holder, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what it's called. It's easier to play Overcooked that way than it is to have one and have to hold it sideways. I mean, it's doable because the amount of, like, inputs you have to do in Overcooked is, like, minimal, but it's just more comfortable if you can have both. And so the goal of having 4 sets was to be able to have 4 people playing with a full controller. That's why I have 3 sets. But they all had to be different colors. This was very important to me. So I do know they have another set of colors, but I don't play. I'm not at college anymore with those people where I was playing Overcooked every single night, so not really necessary anymore. Yeah, because I have the pink and green, I have the original red and blue, I have a gray that I made one white with a skin. What are their other colors now? I don't know why these are so... The purple and yellow is fun. I would probably get that one. Ooh, they have pastel pink and yellow though. But I already have red. I don't know if I could do that. And I already have the other pink. I think it'd have to be the purple and yellow. Because the pastel purple and pastel green is nice too. But it wouldn't fit the color scheme I have going already. So it would have to be the purple and yellow one.
We gotta stay consistent.
Or it says neon purple and neon orange. Yeah, well, it's neon pink and neon green, so I'd have to do that. Yeah, neon red, neon blue. Good night, Pastry Puff. Oh, I mean, we should be signing off too. I just realized the time. Whew! We got on a sidetrack there about ranting about the frickin'...
that tangent was a good one.
It was a good one. Alright, guys. Well, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. And I will show the end screen. There it is. Oh, if it's better than you thought, well, that's good.
Oh. Well, that's always a plus.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you,
but since I already have the neon other colors, gotta round them out. But yes, thank you all for coming. Thank you, VOD Watchers, if you're there. Thank you to our lovely YouTube channel members. You're all great. You're all fantastic. We will hope you have a lovely hump day tomorrow. Or today. And yeah, we hope to see you on Thursday for character tarot cards. Ori just getting all the... This is Ori just doing all the shit she has to do.
This is Ori catch-up week.
I forgot about that being even a thing, if I'm being honest. So this is a lot of stuff. Ori's got a lot of stuff on her plate to do. Alright, guys. Good night, and we'll see you Thursday.
Good night, all. Hope to see you then.